Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestro, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, what is that from? That is a weird. What is it from? It's going to drive me crazy now. We're not back, people. I'm just messing with everybody right quick, but we'll see y'all in about 4 minutes.
How to think, how to feel, what to say, your mind the crime scene. Powers tell you what to see, what to do, who to be. Feed the machine, feed your lies, twist it your own way. The propaganda machine, power feeds it, media owns it, social stage is it. The propaganda machine, you feed the propaganda machine. We bleed, they bleed. Wake up. Ignorant eyes, fact checks denied, half truths in the news, very balanced lies. Who do we believe? Who in what? Whose point of view? Who do you trust? Who's behind it all? Society dies. Feed the machine, feed your lies, twist it your own way. The propaganda machine, power feeds it, media owns it, social stage is it. The propaganda machine, you feed the propaganda machine. We bleed, bleed. Wake up, wake up. Feed the machine, feed your lies, twist it your own way. The propaganda machine, power feeds it, media owns it, social stage is it. The propaganda machine, you feed the propaganda machine. We bleed, bleed. Wake up, wake up.
Wow. Welcome, everyone, to New... Oh, no, it's back. Oh, no.
Automatic
The
fucking encore.
No, it's just starting over, ladies and gentlemen.
Stop it.
Yeah, because my fat finger couldn't get to it fast enough. That's all. Yes, welcome back. Where the hell am I? Why can't I see my beautiful self? Oh, there. Oh, yeah. God damn, that boy is sexy. Welcome to News on the Flip Side, everyone. Nice to see Leah, Michael, Jay. I feel like we're missing somebody. Who we missing? Where's Shawn at?
I must give Sean's apologies. He can't be here tonight. He's got some things going on at home, but if he can make it, he'll come in. If not,
I just talked to his pregnant ass earlier today. Why didn't he tell me that?
Because it's something that happened when he got home from work. He didn't give me.
He got probed by aliens. He got.
Yeah,
He told me he thought he was pregnant.
Takes a minute.
Could have been, but he said he will definitely be with us tomorrow night for the chat.
Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night, the chat. You know, the chat is like triple X rated.
Yeah.
Oh yes, man. Oh yeah, you gotta watch everything you say on that show.
We
Yeah,
sell
about
pictures of
vaccines.
ourselves at auction. It's
Yes.
wonderful.
We don't even put that show on YouTube because we know it's going to get thrown off. It's see this one though is actually on YouTube. So half the time it's private anyway. But what's that? Jeffrey, what Jeffrey? Who Jeffrey? Is it a Jeffrey I know? Is it a Jeffrey I not know? Who the hell Jeffrey? What about Michael? Yeah, I know he's ugly, man. And you gotta tell me I see him all the time.
American.
It's Wait, oh no. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. That took me a minute. So I did see that. Actually, the guy I was just talking about who wasn't here tonight, he sent it to me, Shawn. So it's just a GIF. It's a picture of Greenland and a baby with Trump's name next to the baby. And every time he reaches for Greenland, his mama says no, and Trump starts screaming. It's all it is. Yeah. It's hilariously freaking funny. It is. Well, you don't get it. If you can't take being picked on, you should never get into politics. It's like getting into media, anything
Trump,
where your face is going to be in public.
Get that right out of the
But I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do. If you're going to be where people can hear your voice or see your face, don't get in it if you get your little feelings hurt easy. I mean, if you get your feelings hurt, this is not what you should be doing for a living. Or even for a hobby. You shouldn't be doing.
Who said what with what?
Who's burning where, and who burned what? Oh, you mean there's a fire in Los Angeles? Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You didn't?
Are y'all shitting me? There's not a fire in Los Angeles.
Did you see
in LA? They would have told me if there's a fire.
John put up?
Yeah, actually, I've been sharing them. I've been sharing.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Who's that? I heard a voice.
Okay.
Sounded like a disembodied voice. Who was that?
Roseanne.
I mean, these headphones have a microphone, but I don't know how good it is.
No, it's good. I can hear you good, actually. I was teasing you. No, really, it's a fire. Y'all are full of shit. There's no fire.
You're kidding, right?
Los Angeles, man. I mean, come on.
It says right there on the bottom.
On fire.
Look on the bottom. It's scrolling underneath right now. California versus Arsonists. Is that what's going on?
So the story is that they want to build a smart city by 2030. That's what I've been reading about. Is that they want to clear out space?
Burn down the old one. Come on.
Yeah, because they want to replace it instead of single family homes, replace it with big apartment buildings and condominiums and like multi-family homes. That way they can cram more people into a smaller space, charge them, and then it'll be a smart city.
Well, the new model for about 2 decades been now is to build a shopping mall and then put apartments on top of it. So, and really nice high-end apartments. Sometimes they're townhouses, sometimes they're just apartments, but they build them on top of the malls now. They work real well. There's several of them in New Orleans that I know of. They do real well. They look nice. They're upscale. They're very well taken care of. And hell, I mean, you could open your own business and never have to leave the damn mall. I mean, they got a grocery store. They got all kinds of stuff in there.
Aside from all that and the politics, like the amount of like animals and the loss of life going on because of all this is terrible and staggering. This is such a mismanagement of a situation, and it's just getting worse by the moment. But the one thing that I really like, it gets me, is that it's like an enclave of Hollywood liberalism right there. And then they're being burned out of their homes, burned just like crazy. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like they're crying. There's no firefighters. There's no fire trucks. There's no resources. I heard him on the radio begging for help, begging for resources. These firefighters. One guy was crying because the whole neighborhood was on fire. They had nothing. And then it's the same people who supported these policies that are getting burned out. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Well, somewhere we'll play what's her name, Karen Bass's, some of her stuff she said. But I mean, I seen her first interview when she came back from Africa.
Yeah.
The girl was asking all kind of questions, and her answers were,
I don't know.
Her fire chief just went off saying that they cut the funding, and we don't have.
Oh yeah, they cut funding.
$17 million was taken out of their budget, their annual budget, and what's one of the number of things? I mean, every year, what do we talk about?
But we got to figure out what they're talking about here. How many fire departments are we actually talking about here? So LA itself is I mean, Hollywood's not burning. I mean, it's I've seen many videos.
I've heard
John's
that there
on,
are.
John's on top of a building on Hollywood Boulevard. So
Yeah, he's right in the middle of it.
I know right where he's at. And the hotel's right up the street at the Roosevelt where we used to stay.
Hollywood Boulevard isn't necessarily the Hollywood Hills.
Now, where the Hollywood sign is, it's on fire. It's burning
hills,
happily.
Right. The Hollywood Hills are on fire, but Hollywood itself, like West Hollywood, Sunset Strip, Hollywood Boulevard, that hasn't.
So what's going to happen here?
As,
so we already know a bunch of rich people getting burned out. We know some middle class people are getting burned out as well. So what happens when all the help gets burned out? Who runs Los Angeles? Because none of the people who work in LA really live in LA. They live in the outskirts. So what happens then? LA is kind of screwed.
They're saying that
there are also several celebrities whose houses have been burned who are going off on the Dems right now, the Democratic Party, that have cut the funding to their fire departments.
Yeah, now.
Now they're going off on them. Yeah, probably 6 months ago.
But the winds have subsided for now.
But not here nor there.
The winds are going to come back in a couple of days, and it's going to be more windy.
These celebrities have a little bit more power than like a normal citizen. Like if I were to yell at our governor about something, he wouldn't hear me. But if I was a famous celebrity, he would.
A lot of insurance
it depends. Some governors won't give a good shit.
A lot of insurance companies have just recently bailed on California, not farmers and whatever, and they don't want to deal with it. And on top of that, you just have, I don't know, man. The rich people are going to rebuild, of course. FEMA's probably going to make the beeline and give them their money, and the poor people are going to get shafted like they always do. So it's one of those situations.
Well, now we're assuming that no insurance companies file bankruptcy here.
It could have been avoided. I think that's the only move. I was talking with another insurance industry person, recently, and that's going to be their only move is to go bankrupt. It's going to be $1 trillion losses.
It's. I was looking at it. It kind of reminded me of some other places I've seen in the past. It's at least it's a burnout. Everything's a complete disaster. Just roll in, bulldoze it out, clean it up, move it along. But you don't understand. It makes it easier for cleanup when it's like this. There's not a big argument about what's got to go. Everything's got to go.
Joe's like Ariel Sharon in Israel.
If you want to
roll the bulldozer.
No, dude, you forget. I have lived through Hurricane Camille, Hurricane Betsy, Hurricane Andrew, and Hurricane Katrina. This ain't shit. But it doesn't matter. The disaster's far worse. Katrina took the whole city out, plus 4 other states. It's a little bit bigger of a disaster than what's going on in LA.
That was mismanaged. We're Ray Yeager.
So what? That's the problem. Every disaster is mismanaged. Name a disaster that ain't been mismanaged.
Isn't Ray Yeager still in jail?
No, he's out. He got out.
Did he get out?
Yeah.
Vesuvius was mismanaged because the entire city died.
Yeah, well, you see, it was managed because nobody even knew it was coming. Adios, amigos.
It's the only example I could come up with.
So they're saying that the wildfires are natural, right? Natural. It's supposed to happen.
Some are saying there's arsonists involved, though.
There has been.
There have been. There's video footage of people trying to start fires. Hypothetically speaking, wildfires are a natural occurrence. Which is something that has not been taken into consideration by the state officials with their lack of preparing for such an event, enabling them to roll out what they are, proposing with this Green New Deal and smart cities, giving them the edge by saying this is due to climate change.
Yeah, everything's due to climate change. I don't know. Yeah. Right now, this is you can't really say that this is due to climate change because really, this is typical California. California gets these kind of fires all the time. They've been warned before that this could happen in Los Angeles and the surrounding area. They didn't take precautions.
Exactly.
And if it's found out that they actually took $17 million from the annual fire budget for the state.
It's not from the state. It was just from that county.
Just from Los Angeles.
Regardless where it comes from.
Yeah.
If that's the number one threat to that county, you just took away their ability to do that thing. Fight fire.
Why was the water shut off?
Well, okay. Now I was trying to say that earlier. The system that's designed for is for localized fires, like a building fire, a house fire, maybe a couple houses. That's it. Once it escalates to like the whole block, they have to pump off from other hydrants, or they risk the chance of emptying the aquifers for those.
They should have never
Which is
built
what
up in
happens.
those
They
canyons.
overtax them because they're not designed to fight a area fire. They're a specific zone only fire.
They should have never
It's
built up in those hills and canyons. They should have just left.
Right. It's like a fire extinguisher versus sprinkler system. That's really why they didn't have enough water.
Nope.
Yeah, I saw videos of fire engines hooking up to garden hoses that were connected to people's homes that were still intact. And
on the roof trying to keep the trees from burning his house up. Yeah, I saw that.
And also using women's handbags, like Coach bags, filling them up at the truck, and then taking them over to like this backyard shed looking thing and dumping it over the fence, like 3-4 gallons of water at a time inside of a handbag.
Yeah. Wow.
Like an assembly line.
Bucket brigade is what they were traditionally called.
That's what they used to call them, bucket brigades. That's exactly what they used to call them.
Couldn't get worse, man.
Yeah. So I know the first day of the fire, I got an email from somebody along with a couple pictures that said, hey, look, they had some guy with a blowtorch. They seen him in 2 different places in some type of uniform. Then there was some guy outside of LA that was arrested for trying to set a garage or something on fire. Probably somebody trying to burn down his house so he could collect some money.
Yeah. But look what the wildfires did.
So it seemed like there was a few of those going on. Now, did those turn into wildfires? I don't know. And still, they don't really know where this wildfire actually started at. Was it lightning? Was it a campfire? Was it a cigarette? Was it somebody did it intentionally?
Was it electrical
fire?
Could have been electrical.
Yeah, I've seen electrical wiring shooting off sparks in videos, like transistors kind of given out, and
lightning can do that as well.
What's that?
Lightning can do that as well. Lightning can do that as well. Yeah.
So is the wind that was being recorded at the time of the wildfires, the up to 100-mile-per-hour winds, is that because of the fires?
Santa Ana winds is what they are. They traditionally can be up to like hurricane level, which is minimum 45 miles an hour sustained for Category 1 hurricane, I believe. Might be 65, but it's a lot of it's fast. It's a lot of wind.
For a Cat 1, it's 75 miles an hour.
Do the fires make the winds worse?
Yeah.
Yes. And fires do create wind.
That's why
the identical thing happened in Colorado outside of Denver a couple years back. Remember when it was 100-mile-an-hour winds? There was a fire from an electrical box on a pole, and then boom, that's all they needed. It was a blast furnace, blew out the whole city area there. Crazy.
And that could have been caused by lightning as well.
No, it was a power box. It was a power company.
Well,
it was a faulty box. They said
all of a sudden randomly explode
from the wind hitting it, causes sparks, and then bang.
I'm looking at the marquee on the bottom. What are you guys thinking of this Greenland and Panama deal?
Canada. I love that gift that Shawn sent me earlier today.
Well, I mean, we were talking about that on the previous show that I'm on at Church of Mavis, and we're talking about it at work. And I was like, if you can do it like a treaty, like what the Brits did with Hong Kong and China, and we can, having Greenland for part of our country for, like, say, X amount of years as on loan from Denmark, that's just income for us.
50,000 people live in Greenland. All together.
We'll see what happens with all
that. They mostly work at oil companies.
It's sitting on gallons of oil, though.
It's a place you'd never go. Not want to go.
That's why they call it Greenland, because they wanted people to move there. They didn't want.
It's not even like an Alaska. It's not even like a Canada.
Traditionally, that's why it's called Greenland. They called Iceland because it's the nice green fertile place. They didn't want people to come and live. They wanted you to live in Greenland. That's the true story.
It's strategic. Story. It's globally strategic, war-wise, and then resources.
Did I mention
lots of minerals?
Yes, and other minerals.
Lithium,
Oh, there's
and how
lots
many
of
people live
there's lots
there?
of stuff there.
There's gold in them there hills.
How many people live there? Less than the amount of cars people own in New York City.
But strategically, it's great for us. It helps us to control the Arctic. It helps us to keep Russia under control. There's a lot of submarines like to go through there, so we'll have a lot of
Europe
what's going on.
now Europe is like
He can't move his self-submarine
Germany's like,
where they go,
it's like,
Joe. His
Germany said they're gonna kick our ass if we take Greenland.
You don't want to mess with us.
Germany and France said they're gonna kick our ass. They're gonna kick our ass if we mess
Don't mess with us.
If he's an idiot and he goes after it militarily, World War III will start, don't you think?
Well, first off, I would bet you if you ask the Greenland people to vote, they'd vote to be part of the United States. Secondly, Germany don't even have an army. The only army they got is the one we have stationed in their country.
They basically all work at the oil fields, man.
Yeah,
there's not much to it, you know.
Yeah, but
a lot of land. Well, there's not much to it.
No, there's a lot of ice.
There's a lot of ice.
There's
a lot of land on the edges.
I heard that chunks of glacier ice are being shipped to like Dubai and Abu Dhabi for like specialty iced drinks in the desert.
They probably are. They're probably buying ice from different places.
I'm selling it to them, man. It's the Mike Ice Company.
Problem with eating any. Well, the problem with eating ice from the Arctic is you don't know what's in it.
You don't know what kind of
you
bacteria.
don't know what part of the world it was shitting on it when it actually landed out there.
Could be some UFO. some
just saying. Yeah, it could be some virus we ain't had on the planet in 1,000 years or something.
Brontosaurus crap in your ice and die.
Amoebas.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No, James, when I listened to the news, the LA news earlier today, they said there had been no evidence found that suggests that this was arson. But they were still investigating it, and because they had not found what had actually caused the fires yet.
Well, and by now, if there was
laser beams from outer space.
Oh, I've seen a lot of them, man. There was a lot of those published in the last few days.
Well, even if some Joe Yahoo drove by on his
energy weapons
Jeep and spilled gasoline in the path of the fire to make it go in a direction one way or the other, that's already burned away. They
hey, Roseanne. Hey, Mark.
Yeah. You know, the sad thing is though. People are like, oh, it's Hollywood scum. They deserve it and whatever. It's like that. That's what we become as a society. The CEO gets gunned down. Screw the CEO. Screw these companies. Like same for Hollywood. But what about the compassion then? Because there are innocent people in that blaze too. They're not all Ben Affleck.
Man, if they live in LA, they're already bound for hell.
You're the second person I heard say that this week.
That's true. If you live in LA, you're going to hell. That's part of it. The city of the angels is the city of hell. So just know you're going. Look at it. Have you seen it from above? It looks like hell.
Should do El Diablo then.
Fire. The sky is on fire.
Satan's probably walking around going, oh, look what I got.
Mark Zuckerberg, no, he's hanging out with Trump.
LA right now.
Of course, you know what I did see? I did see a badass picture of a McDonald's sign with three palm trees around it with flames and sparks and shit shooting around it with the wind because the wind had the trees blown over. It was pretty badass looking.
Oh, great. So now McDonald's will say, now we have flame broiled burgers too?
They got flame on, buddy, is what they got. It's, Chris.
They got a bigger problem because the fire's not going to stop. It's going to keep going, man. They don't have the resources.
They don't have the resources.
Well, now, Michael, Canada just sent some resources. Now, Canada just sent some. Well, we ain't going to talk about that because they're too ignorant to figure that out on their own.
They do have the LA Fire Department does have some boats that can siphon water for boat
fires. Now I'm telling y'all, Canada sending 3 of their big tanker planes down there. Russia said it'll send 2 tanker planes over
to drop bombs on it. Probably.
This is even better. The Ukraine said they'll send one of Canada's tanker planes back because they've got 5 of Canada's tanker planes over there right now. They said they'll send one back. Mexico has already dispatched like 4 to the sea. So if they put them all working and they get you like 30 of them, they can get the fire out. Well, I have to go back to what Leah just said. I live in the Gulf Coast. So where I live, if you go for anywhere in my neighborhood, and there's some really expensive homes here, there is no fire hydrants. Not a fucking one. Not one, not anywhere. And trust me, my insurance company tells, guess what, Joe? There's no fire. I tell the insurance company this. I said, but you guess what I got? Because I have a bayou in my backyard. So I have a little thing over on my dock that goes out like this and goes down and goes in the water. It's got a screen on it and it goes in the bayou water. So all you got to do is hook it up and turn on the truck. And guess what happens?
Well,
it just starts sucking out water, baby.
And
And it's salt water, no better, which is even better for putting out fires. So.
Oh, that's true. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, salt does help extinguish.
Yes, it does.
Grease
You get water
flames.
and salt. It's just better all the way around. The fire people like it. They don't have to tote water. They don't have to, and the cities like it because they don't have to run pump stations through here or anything like
some
that.
crawdaddies there at the
Well,
fire.
see where we live. There's everybody here.
On it.
Everybody here either lives on the water or lives within 50 feet of it. So it's just the way the neighborhood's set up. They got bayous and canals and stuff that run all through here, and then the Gulf's right over here to the left of.
So what about this, man? If this was really biblical, like people are saying it is, what if there's a terrible earthquake now? I'm not going to throw kind of salt.
Yeah, right in the middle of the fire.
But a terrible earthquake. Not saying there should be.
I was wondering the same thing.
Like they have no resources, man. It shows you that in the world of emergency management, it shows you how quickly things fall apart when people don't listen to highly paid consultants who tell them what they need, and then they don't listen to them. They go, well, we need money from illegal aliens, so we're going to divert millions of dollars into these other funds. Well, then your city burns down. You know what I mean? And how's that helping anybody? So I don't know, whatever.
But that's what they do, man. What the next extinction level event's supposed to start out as is fire, right?
They need a big giant tsunami to take the fires out now.
Yeah.
What is the fault? The tectonic plates that go up and down versus side to side.
I can't remember the exact word. I had that in college.
There's a huge volcano up
decades ago. But no, she's right. Well, the two that I know, you have this is two places. You have subduction, and subduction is like this. This is the subduction zone. It goes down like that, and then there's the abduction zone where they do like that.
Listen. You got suck, you got blow. You got it, man. They suck, they blow. They suck, they blow.
And they do this number two. They go side by
in and out, in and out.
That's the ones I know.
So one of those could cause a tsunami wave that could take all the fires out.
Correct.
Look at it like this. So there's a big earthquake.
The Sharknado.
They finally get the fire out a week from now. Then there's a big earthquake that comes in, wipes everything out.
An earthquake of 7.5.
And then there's a flood that brings all the debris into LA.
That'll be like an asteroid coming from
no, we don't need an asteroid.
Freaking Hollywood, man.
That'd be a movie.
You need an underwater seismic event in the center of the Pacific Ocean at about 7.5 Richter or higher, and that resulting tidal wave will wipe out the bulk of the planet. If you're not 300 or 400 miles inland, when that goes off, you're dead. There's no saving you.
The Golden Globes out the window.
That's a natural occurrence that can happen any minute, at any time of any day on this very planet, and no one worries about that. Why?
East Coast. That's what I'm saying.
Because it's so infrequent. It rarely happens, but when it does, there's nothing you can do to stop it.
It's the Ring of Fire. They live in a zone that's
exactly. It can happen anywhere.
It's prone to everything.
Yeah.
What about Yellowstone?
Yellowstone's the Ring of Fire.
The planet, but it wouldn't be as bad as a global.
The Ring of Fire is the Pacific Rim. Yellowstone's got the volcano, man. The super volcano. Yeah,
Yellowstone's is considered a Ring of Fire because it's a caldera.
But other than that, the world would survive.
There's one ambulance for about
the United States won't survive. Everything from pretty much everything from Louisiana west will be gone in one big hunk of mud.
When the world turns, when the world turns to crap, those resources aren't going to be there.
And then everything east of the Mississippi River will have 35 feet of ash.
But when things are happening, you're not going to get an answer. You got to rely on yourself. Really, it's the community that has the strength. If you have a strong community, people communicate with each other, and you have good local.
Yeah, I don't know. Caldera goes. I think the community can fuck off. I don't think it's going to help you any. The caldera
You should be
goes.
mayor of
The
New Orleans.
entire northern hemisphere is buried alive.
Joe Montaldo, mayor of New Orleans.
No, there'll be the whole entire northern
You need to
hemisphere will be
fuck
buried
off.
alive. The atmosphere will be covered in
I'm outta
shit.
here.
Covered with ash
I'll be
for
in
Yeah,
Jamaica.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what you do. You know what you do, Peter? There's two things you can do when this happens. Either you can put your head between your legs and keep your happy ass goodbye, or you can get on a slow boat and head your ass to South America or the Arctic, because the Arctic will probably warm up by then because all the ash up here. Because it's only gonna fuck up the entire northern hemisphere. The southern hemisphere will survive.
What about the tunnels under Las Vegas?
Well, there's
I got a lot of friends that live in Vegas. They say that's bullshit.
No, I've been there. I've
They say
ridden my
that's
bike
bullshit.
through the tunnels.
They said the
It's
only real
bullshit.
tunnels there are the ones where they were going to build the I forgot what they call it now.
Well, there are hundreds of tunnels under New York, and there's tunnels under DC and
Yeah,
Baltimore.
there's lots of sewer tunnels.
I took pictures. I was on my bike, right? And you had to have flashlights because it was dark. Right. I rode my bike at least 4 miles into the tunnels, and people did sleep in there.
Were the tunnels concrete walls?
Usually are underneath the water level of most cities.
Sing it all?
So you don't want to be in a tunnel when there's a flood event.
Any songs?
Did I sing?
Yeah, she did. She was singing her ass off
on Long Island between the parking lot and the beaches, and it went under the large roadway. Anybody who walked in there had to do it.
Kumbaya and row your boat.
You go there and do some Rolling Stones there.
No, when you're camping, you do row your boat or Kumbaya, stuff like that, folk songs.
Oh man, Kumbaya moment with Jay.
I had a very close friend who lived in the tunnels for about 2 years while he rode his bike to a pizza place, and he shared a tent with someone that had lived in the tunnels for decades, and they used the runoff. There was like a clean water runoff around the corner that they used to shower and wash their clothes, and other than that, they were in a safe spot. I don't know where the tunnels divert or go into the flood zones, but they found a good spot where they had a 2-bedroom Coleman tent where they could bring in a king-size bed. They lived down there very comfortably and cool during the summer, warm during the winter. It was insulated because it was underground. And
neighborhood.
Well, they probably lit fires too, I would imagine.
I'd rather stay at the MGM Grand
heaters. I was given the grand tour, and I'll never forget it. I don't remember the name of the town. I forget most. I lived in downtown Las Vegas. There's a portion of Las Vegas, like the neighborhood, starts with an S and it kind of goes up the side of the hills.
You can see this. I know this guy Peter. He does videos on YouTube. Peter Santalolo. He goes all over, man. Like Amish. And this
I watch his. Yeah.
Him and Peter? Nick. He does reservations. Like he was on all the reses, man. He's a really cool guy. I've actually talked to him here and there. And he did Vegas. They went down to the tunnels. Like they have people on there talking about what happens. Really interesting stuff.
I like his videos. I watch Santinello and I watch Nick Jones. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he does a lot of destination, the good and the bad and the ugly kind of stuff. And he's been to every state. He's been inside all the abandoned neighborhoods, and he's got his own little take on it. So I go back and forth between those two.
I'm a YouTube person, man. I do a lot of narrow boating, and those guy David. Like I was there in the beginning when they had like 3 viewers, so we start talking. You know how it goes. Like we start talking back and forth, and now we've got all these people. But it's cool. They get a narrow boat, and they live on narrow boats and cruise the canals of England. That's like a romantic thing to me. I'd love to do that. It'll never happen, but it's a cool thing in my mind anyway.
So I wonder if now would be the worst time ever to go back to LA.
No, actually, probably be a good time. Decent jobs coming up pretty soon.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Jobs in construction, that's for sure.
A lot of land for sale too, I'd imagine.
It's going to cause a big boom.
Yeah.
Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom.
A lot of people are moving out, from what I hear.
Yeah, they were moving.
All those
already.
famous people don't even own the houses that they live in; they rent them out.
Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the best way though. So if you live in your house and it gets burned down, it sucks, and you'll get whatever your insurance is for. But if it's a rental and it burns down, you get the value of the house plus the lost rent. It's much better. It's much better. So,
and that's kind of a racket that's used in the technology quarter down here in DC in the
Washington. Yeah, well, almost all businesses do that. So, like, you could be a Burger King. They might give you 2 years, 5 years. It depends what you pay for, anywhere from 1 to 10 years, depending on the type of business you have. You can collect. Like a McDonald's, they get blown away by a storm. Half the time it's not even worth opening them because they're going to get so much money from the insurance company that it's ridiculous.
A lot of franchises though, so they're independent. Even though they've got
they have deals with insurance companies anyway because how many stores they have. So it's for them it's a win for the company, but it's really a win for the insurance company.
It's the little guy. The videos I was watching was just regular people being burned out of their homes, and the homes are 3 feet away from each other. So you're all gone, right? And FEMA,
they were showing all the hookers today.
FEMA only has so much available, man. And then I don't know. It's a huge amount, and you'll see.
So how does FEMA run out for Asheville, North Carolina? Run out of resources and funding, but then have resources and funding for the next natural disaster in another state?
We're going to see if they get the funding or not.
That's
Obama rejected it. Remember all those stories went through
their yearly budget is
Obama rejected them. He said no. He said no to them. You're flooded out. No, you're not getting anything. FEMA's supposed to be there for them. It's supposed to be.
Well, FEMA's going to dish out a lot of money here pretty soon, so that's going to be interesting to watch.
So when the Biden administration, when the Biden administration says that they're going to fund 100% of the restoration of the wildfires in LA, where does that funding come from?
Okay, first off, Biden can't say that. Biden can't say that because in 10 days, Biden's adios fucking amigos. So there's nothing Biden can do. This isn't Biden's baby. This is Trump's. And Trump pretty much told LA they ain't going to eat themselves.
Yeah.
He said, this is on y'all. This should have never happened.
Elon Musk is both sounding off.
They're just turning LA up, California up. I mean, they're all over this. You should never let this happen. This was preventable. The whole thing was preventable.
I have to say this.
Why should
you should never cut any firefighter's budget? Never. They need more resources because things cost more. There's more building going on. There's more stuff happening. There's more people, no matter where they are. They always need more funding, not less funding, man.
Especially in California, where wildfires are just expected to happen every year. Like, why would that be what they cut?
And are these electric fire trucks that are responding? And electric helicopters responding?
Right.
I hate to rub it in, but this is the same crew that says, oh, solar panel and this and that, whatever. Meanwhile, they're the ones who overly built. They're the ones who didn't plan. You can't get water up into those canyons. You just can't. Every engineer told them that. They don't care. They don't care. And 100 years ago, Australia gave us all these eucalyptus plants, They gave us some.
You can get water anywhere if you want to. I mean, we put it on top of buildings all the time.
Eucalyptus plants have all matured, and now they're all full of oil. So when there's a fire out in nature, it burns. It burns and burns. It's very difficult to put that out.
Yeah. Down here, what they do is they thin the forest from time to time, even if they have to start a fire themselves.
With controlled burns, yes.
Yeah, but you see them in there cutting and slashing, and they don't let the forest get big anymore. And they'll get 50 years maybe, and then they cut them down and sell them for lumber.
Yep.
It's tragic, man. When I see the images, it's tragic. It's just tragic, and it's not going to stop. That's the hard part. It's just when's it going to pick up? What the hell do you do, man?
Well, where is it going to go is really the question. Where can it go?
Anywhere.
Yeah, it could spread throughout the other parts of the city if it gets close enough to structures.
This is what's so effed up about this. Okay, I never did understand California and their moronic way of fighting fires. There are fire. There are huge forests throughout the entire South. There's lightning strikes here all the time, year round. It's not just a fall thing for us. It's a all year round thing. The reason y'all don't hear about it is because down here they actually know how to put out a forest fire. First thing they go in and do is they cut a swath. Then they go a little further down. They cut another swath. They cut another swath. They cut another swath, so that the fire has to jump. And even with high speeds, they'll keep increasing the size of the swath until even with the wind it can't cross. It's just not enough of it to get across. And then along that last swath, they'll put all kind of people dumping water. They'll have tankers flying back and forth, dumping water along those edges so all of that's wet. And they'll keep wetting it the entire time. And they'll go out there with pump trucks. They'll be dropping them off the sides of hills, lakes. It doesn't matter. And they're just constantly pumping water. California just doesn't do that. California kind of lets them burn before they even think about it. See, down here, it doesn't matter. So if there's a huge forest, no matter what, that forest is going to be surrounded by high-dollar homes.
Yeah, and if they did
It doesn't matter how big this forest is. It could be half the state of Florida, and it's still going to be covered. So they're not going to let them burn. It's just not something that happens down here. They just don't put
But also on the same thing, I don't think they do any training. If they did the controlled burns and use those, they have the best firefighters in the world up there in California. If they trained them every couple of months by controlled burns, those guys would stay on top of the latest technologies for one thing, and number two, even if nature takes a turn and throws a lightning storm at them and a whole field goes on fire, they'll be well more equipped to take care of it.
Do you know that the majority?
Why don't they use satellite like everybody else does? People forget there's forests all throughout the United States. California doesn't have a medium on it. They're just one state with big forests, but they're not the only states with big, huge forests.
Washington State.
No,
Arizona's got big, huge forests for that matter.
Doesn't Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee does. Kentucky does. There are parts of Arkansas is basically one big forest with two cities.
Yeah.
So you know this is controllable. You know this is controllable, but California, instead of thinking ahead of time, if you ever walk through a forest up here, anywhere in the South, you'll notice every now and then you'll have to cross. It's like a ditch. It's usually about 3 feet wide or 4 feet wide. It's a fire break is what it is. And they put them in periodically all over the damn place, and they can pump water in there because it acts like a channel.
Yeah.
So it helps slow the fires down and get them under control. California don't do any of that. I mean,
they've mostly deforested their forests in California. They used to be known for their redwoods and their sequoias, and some of them have been put to like protection status, because they've been so deforested that, they're too afraid to even clean out the old growth because they don't want to get rid of what little there is left.
What do you mean, Jackie? Jackie, they know there's going to be forests. I mean, they know there's going to be fires. And if you're not taking care of your forest out there, I mean, there's still thousands and millions of acres in California's forest, but they don't seem to want to take care of it. You have to go through and clean your forest out. That's a regular thing down here. They do it along the highways. Now, they put the forest back 25 feet from each side of the highway. Now, it used to be like you could damn near hit it with your fingers driving down the highway. Not that anymore. And then they clear all that out so you can actually see up in there. And a lot of stuff you see now are planted. You can tell because the trees erode. So a lot of what you're seeing now is planted stuff. That stuff is much better for fires. Also, pine's a lot harder to burn. It's used to. Pine cones need fire to pop them open. So it's not. Pine forests don't seem to be as affected as badly as other forests do. But still, man, California could have. They've been talking about this since I was a teenager, and that was before the sun formed. So, I mean, they should have figured this out by now.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody on this panel could figure this out in all of about 10 minutes. But here's California, who's been, the 5th largest or 6th largest economy in the world. Its economy is bigger than Russia's.
Which is why there's conspiracy theories surrounding the idea that it was something that was either planned and, they had plans for what happened after for that land, or even though if it was a natural occurrence, they did nothing about it because they wanted to use that land for what their plans are in the future.
More Hollywood or more, Disney World, whatever.
Well, see, the problem, that's another thing. See, so California's we're going to go to break in a few minutes, but California's got a couple of things it's got to work out. One, it's losing the film industry for a couple of reasons. Number one, Louisiana and Alabama and Georgia are much cheaper to film in. Georgia offers us everything that you could possibly want, from a big city to a southern town with all kind of wealthy homes of all kind of different types of homes.
Seasons.
Yeah, it's got all 4 seasons. You've got the mountains with the snow. You've got the Gulf of Mexico. You got the ocean. You got the East Coast. I mean, you got Savannah. I mean, it's just, it has so much to offer, and what it doesn't, New Orleans has. So, and in between, there's just so much.
What do you like more, Georgia or Alabama?
Ooh, now we should. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. Don't talk about it, man. They kill you for talking about it.
I liked it.
Alabama's the greatest state in the union. It's the biggest secret in the union now. So Alabama will tell you they don't like to advertise about their state. They will share with Gulf Coast Southerners. They don't like anybody else coming there. They just don't. They think you have no freaking business being in their state. You ain't from the South. Don't come to their state. I
want to visit Birmingham.
Birmingham's cool. But you see, that's another thing about Alabama. It's got the same thing Georgia does. So the bottom of Alabama is the Gulf of Mexico and some of the prettiest sugar white sandy beaches in the world. I mean, it's nice, soft. It looks like sugar. It's all sparkly white and sandy and soft.
I bet it's expensive.
No, it's just sand. I mean, and it's all over.
You live there.
Probably it's gotten more expensive. Yeah, but there's and then there's the little bayou behind where the golf is on the island. So you can hang out in there. I mean, there's a lot of really nice places along the Gulf Coast that are just really, really nice. There's a lot of good money down there. There's a lot of things you can do these days, and then it's just, and then you go up to the middle of the state. You've got Birmingham. You've got a couple other things going on in the middle of the state. And then you go to northern state, and it's all mountains and chalets. It's beautiful up there. These gorgeous chalets. There are a lot of rich people in Alabama. I'll tell you another little secret about Alabama. It is the most trusted state in the union by the military.
Really?
Not just by a little bit, but by far. They said you can't get somebody from Alabama to go against the United States. It's an impossibility.
Its silhouette looks like Bart Simpson. Have you ever really looked at it?
Yeah. Well, I know it's kind of weird, but on their trusted state list, some of the biggest projects in the United States are handled.
Sweet home Alabama, man.
And they got good music too. So I don't know. It's a great state. Mobile's fun. It's a lot of fun place. Florida's fun. Georgia's great. Louisiana's cool. As long as you're in New Orleans, Louisiana's cool. The rest of the state sucks. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry, Louisiana people. I didn't mean that. That was
Where are you? Are you in Louisiana or are you in Mississippi?
I am right today at the very moment. I am in Mississippi. I am in Henderson Point, Mississippi. Yes, people. In Henderson Point, Mississippi is where I live. I am sitting on Mahali Bayou.
Don't give out your location.
25 feet from my back door, and the Gulf of Mexico is
feet off the ground.
Yes, no. Now the house is only 10 feet off the ground.
Yeah, but what level are you on?
Well, I'm in the studio, so I'm about 11 feet off the ground. Now everybody else around me is 22 feet from the ground down to the storm.
Everyone
my house survived Katrina, so now I don't have to be that high up because my house is high. But my roof is 22 feet from the top to the ground. I mean, I got 12-foot cathedral ceilings. What's that, Marcus? Who? No, what's her name? Karen Bass or something? No. Look, everybody I talked to there said that bitch needs to go. Everybody says she just needs to go.
Yeah,
when I ask anybody, she needs to go. That's all I fucking hear. They hate that bitch. It don't matter if they're liberals. It don't matter if they're conservative. They hate that girl or that mayor. She looks like Little Lightfoot from Chicago. Remember the mayor that had to leave in disgrace? That's who she looks like. No, that's who she looks like.
Hey, Shawnee's here.
I like her head.
Hey, Shawn, how you been, man?
Like
doing well.
Sorry,
I had to get something done first, though.
It's very scrubby.
It's we've been trying to stay out of trouble talking about the hell that's Los Angeles now.
terrible.
What,
Yeah.
I'm
what
hoping
good
there's a
do you
place to
think
be.
can
I got to
come
go
of
there
it?
in like 2 months, 3 months.
What good do you think is going to come of it? I mean,
Oh,
they say the
all right,
phoenix
look.
rises from the ashes.
I'm going to tell you something that's great. Okay. One of the great things about this is the place is fucking leveled. They're going to go in there with bulldozers and woo, and they're going to do just like they did in New Orleans. They're going to come back with all high end, really nice stuff. And it's going to make the whole entire city more efficient. It's going to run better. It's going to look better. It's just going to be a better place all the way around. I got to say, one of the greatest things that ever happened to New Orleans was Katrina. It got rid of all of our projects. They leveled every project we had. You know how we were talking about the malls earlier with the apartments on top of it? They replaced those, and instead of going back with projects, they put those there. And the people who lived got, what do they call them, vouchers, so they could live in there as well with the rich people and shit. It's worked great. Crime is going down. Education amongst blacks is going up. It's been a great project for the city all the way around. It's just a bitch. It took a fucking disaster of biblical proportions to make it happen.
Yeah, but
course,
you can't count on that kind of thing happening. The
yeah, you can. That's exactly what's going to happen to LA. It's going to be the same thing that happens.
There's going to be.
Been prevented.
Are you familiar with the Coastal Commission?
No.
Yeah, anybody who's got something in Malibu ain't gonna get it back, and they're gonna. I thought it's basically the whole thing is like a woke hydrogen bomb. I mean, like everything that happened there. Oh, they don't have gen sets to like power the fire hydrants. None of the fire hydrants worked. They sent all their equipment over to Ukraine, or not all of it, but a bunch of it to Ukraine.
Yeah.
And then they cut the fire budget by like $17.4 million.
Apparently, according to Amelia, they have evidence of Karen Bass cutting the fire department budget by $48.8 million.
That's a lot.
Even better.
That's huge.
I thought it was 23 million.
Regardless, for a local fire department, that's a lot of money.
It was
17.9
It's not a lot for a state, but
this year, 2025, which just started. So she just signed it last week. 17.9 million.
Hey,
so last year, it was a lot more.
At least the LA Fire Department's more inclusive, though. So we got that.
Do you think it'll be a lot easier to get a job in the fire department in LA now, or more difficult?
I think they're looking
no,
for a new
everything's
chief.
burnt down. What's going to burn up next? It's all rock now.
Yeah.
They need a new chief, man. I think she got
John's
fired.
been posting some good videos. I know that.
The chief came out against the mayor and said that they cut our funding, and that's what we've got. So,
but what has the mayor said? Did you hear when she gave that speech today? She's going, and everybody needs to go to this to get your help.
Oh yeah, everybody needs to go to
URL.
Go to URL.
I mean, okay, now don't take this the wrong way, but this is 2025, right? I'm not losing my mind. How fucking stupid can you be that you don't know what a URL is? I mean,
nobody that should be in charge of a city's.
There's not even a baby boomer alive that doesn't know what that is.
And how stupid do you have to be to not tell them what the URL is? It's URL.
Go to URL.
Does anyone know what it
I mean,
still stands
she had to know when she said it. It didn't sound right. I mean, that kind of shit drives me crazy. And no one around her said, "Hey, Miss Bass, no, this is what it is. www. Go to fuckyourass.com."
They even had the hearing aid interpreter, like the hard of hearing, the deaf interpret. I don't know the correct term, but the guy that does the sign language. Yes, sign language interpreter. Copying what she was saying. So, I mean, he didn't even stop and tell her, no, that's not right.
Hey, he reports. The audience decides. He's just translating.
Yeah, don't kill the messenger, right?
Because maybe he thought she was going to provide a URL after it.
Yeah.
But apparently.
I don't know what the fuck they thought was going on there. I was just sitting there going, did I miss something? I had to look over and go, did I miss something?
And by the way, when this happened, she wasn't even in the United States. She was in Ghana. And not in Ghana on vacation.
And didn't rush back either.
Like for official public business, she was in Ghana. Like you run Los Angeles. What are you doing in Ghana?
Yeah, I know.
Really.
And what official business do we actually? No, I don't even want to know.
Well,
Amelia,
can you
do me a
imagine
favor,
this,
baby.
though?
Send it to my
What about
messenger.
this interpreter, the sign language interpreter? What if he did react? He's like doing this, and he goes like, and like
Because it's
mouths
on
like,
my
"What
phone.
the fuck?" To the lady, like, "What are you talking about? What would
Yeah.
happen in this kind of event?" I would probably lose it and start laughing my ass off.
So, Stephen, what do you mean there's
You gotta
proof
do this,
of,
man.
of
That's what I
arsenic?
was taught. The cactus plant. That's what you gotta do. The cactus.
Stephen Herron, who said he works for LA, he works down there for the LA media. He said they've been recent images that suggest part of the fire may have been arson.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're always gonna have opportunists. The people
Yeah, it's
that
climate
restaurants
change.
not doing
Climate
so well.
change.
You know,
Climate change. His name is Bob. Yes.
Yeah. Satan went
Bob
down
is
there,
climate
and,
change.
That's
It's
crazy.
just very weird that the one area that burned is these Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of
Did
like.
you see how the Weather Channel, they accidentally captured human remains on camera?
No.
Yeah, you could see like a skull. It's just like camera just pans.
Oh
over
my
it.
gosh.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think there's
yeah.
probably a lot more people that died than they're telling us.
well, what was the last count? 10? Was that what it was? 10?
Yeah,
of them?
that's
Some
what I heard.
small number.
It was. I know. It wasn't. It was a small number. I mean, and I figure it's going to
One
be more.
county though.
But that's how they do all the storms, to be honest with you. So they'll either go with some stupidly high number or they'll go with some stupidly low number. And then 3 months down the line, oh, it wasn't 1,800, it was 4,400. And you're like, oh, really? Y'all could have told us that then. Especially when you got people out there looking. When you say, oh, we're only missing 100 people, after a while, you're going to quit looking.
Very sad, man. The whole thing.
It's
But no,
heartbreak.
they'll still
Okay,
vote for these clowns. You watch, they'll still vote for these clowns. And I bet
Well,
you
the
there's
ones who come
people
back might vote for them. I don't know how many are going to come back. That's going to be the real question.
I'm with Sean. I agree. Don't you guys remember Marion Barry? I mean, he was arrested with a prostitute in his underwear. I mean, they literally
smoking crack,
smoking
that
crack, snorting cocaine.
Got
And
that
literally
crack going on.
dragged the mayor of the city out in handcuffs in his damn underwear. I mean, the man had the type of old garters that hold your socks up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I dragged him out wearing that stuff, and it's just like, oh my God, he went to jail for I don't know how many years. He gets out, and bam, the very next election, he's back as mayor.
Re-elected and
I
it feels so
almost
good.
shit my pants.
And he got caught again smoking crack.
I couldn't believe it. So
I'm convinced that line of city officials and all the way down to like police departments are just another form of gangs, just another gang. They're all cronies with each other and they keep each other informed and in the loop. They'll hire their friends and their family and
it used to be
in-laws.
just the mafia. You know what I mean? And then comes
We
government.
need to bring the
right?
mafia back. Make
Then
the
comes
mafia
government.
great again.
They put the
At least they'll
mafia out of
protect
business
it.
because they didn't want the competition, right? So the CEOs, they do it legally. They just have people make laws. They do it legally. The mafia did things how they did, but you know what? Who would you rather have protecting your business from people?
I'd rather have Vinny. Bring back Vinny.
Get fat. Call Fat Tony.
Probably be better off.
Yeah.
Fat Tony's security service.
Hey, but
Yeah, at least they're protected. I
question for
guarantee
Leah.
if somebody took their $900 discount that they had in California until we passed a referendum that forced the politicians to actually arrest people who are, stealing things. I bet you it would be like if they tried that on Vinny, he'd break their knuckles. That guy might even disappear.
Man, that's the law. Like you're breaking someone's business, and that's your livelihood. That's
what was going on doing BLM, which we got to talk about that when we come back because we got to take a break because we're already like 13 minutes past the top of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, you got just a bunch of crazies in here.
Walgreens closing 2,600 stores because of the ransacking, because of all this. They're forcing
we ain't worried about Walgreens.
Jobs. They pay taxes. There's all kinds of things associated with that. Plus those neighborhoods now will have lack of services. And who are they going to blame? They're going to blame. They're blaming it on Trump. Blaming on some bull crap.
They're going to blame it on this asshole that's getting ready to start saying.
But with PC and DEI, you're not allowed to tell the truth. You're not allowed to.
Yes, we're gonna blame it on this guy right here. I think that's who we're blaming it on. Well, I'll say that and I'm lying to you.
When the hell is the Chinese New Year? I'm counting that. It's coming.
What the hell? Why don't I hear
What
that?
the hell is that?
I don't know, but I'm trying to wonder why I don't hear that.
There's some kinky porno
It's
going on.
muted somewhere.
Oh, that's why I don't hear that. Okay.
Oh, it's a fire, dude. Oh God. Put on some Highway to Hell, man.
No, played Highway to Hell the other day. Can't play that.
This guy's too depressed for our mood. We need something lively.
Besides, these days we go by request anyway.
Hillbillies playing ACDC music. Come on, Hillbilly.
Just deal with it. It's by request.
Oh.
Someone got something over. I know.
Disturb's all right. Disturb's all right. They're down with the sickness.
Is that Vin Diesel?
Guy's too tall.
Touching that with a fucking number.
And I've already heard like 3 syllables. Can't be.
That does sound like Vin Diesel.
You keep it up, I'll put the old version.
He does it on Bob Dylan's one.
No, but close. Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh God.
What a name.
Oops. Why is he gonna look so furious?
Looks like a Bill.
It's a very serious name.
What was that in Bill's time?
Oh Jesus, we're gonna have to start doing our own version of Simon.
Bump that up. I don't even drink. I'm looking my cat pee on the Christmas tree again. Eating like shit like this.
Yeah, who here can stand?
That's some dog litter these days. Zombie? So people like this can get famous by any unless it's some stuff. Not even his song. And there's Stevie Cage playing over in the grave. Oh, wait.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fierster, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
When they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually
back. I'm gonna turn my volume back up.
I know. Whack, back. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to News on the Flip Side. Yeah, we just pop right back in. No, we don't always have music when we come back in. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It just depends what the hell we're doing. Man, you can't be doing poppies, bro. Come on. What I tell you about that? No poppies. No poppies. Oh, anyway. Oh, wait. Now, somebody just walked in here a few minutes ago. We're not going to mention her name. She just came in here naked and shit and said, hey, Brooklyn's on fire. A whole block burnt down. I'm like, wait, what?
That's the mayor of L.A. Did you show up there too, man? It's crazy.
Look, we're not even going to go there, okay? If the mayor of L.A. showed him I was naked, I would call the police. I'm just saying. I would. Either that, I Bruce lives in my backyard. He's a 12-foot alligator. Maybe I'd introduce him. And we could have.
You wouldn't be slightly, even just remotely enticed.
You got it. Now, I got to be honest. I have a thing for powerful women. I'm not going to lie. In a lot of different varieties of powerful women, too.
Back in the day,
Oh, get out of here with Reno.
Now, that's going on and on and on.
Martha Stewart, we could talk about. Jan Reno, I don't know about.
Jan Reno.
Jan was square, wasn't she? If I remember right, she was like just a square.
So powerful.
No. Like Condoleezza Rice. Oh my God, I could worship at Condi's feet. I could anywhere you go, I'd be like, "Oh, Condi, I love you, baby. What do you need me to do for you? Who you need did just let me know, Condi."
I thought she was lesbian. Man.
I don't care. She's a lesbian. I don't care. I got out recruit for her. Look, just let me watch, baby.
I'm sure Joe could do just as much as a lesbian can do, and more, right?
We'll go give it a try.
The show is going there.
She's a very interesting person. You know what? I used to like Hillary, until she became Hillary. When she first came out on the scene, I was like, wait, this chick might be one bitch from hell, and she might be worth watching. Well, she was worth watching. That's for fucking sure. She was nuts, and she still is nuts. Did y'all watch the funeral? There was so much shit went on in them two pews. It wasn't even funny. I mean, really, if you just watch this, you don't. I mean, there's just so much shit went on in those two pews that it was just, you watch them come in. And what was with Melania? She looked like hell, man. I've never seen her look bad.
I heard they all got free peanuts, man.
They got something free, all right, but we're not going to go there. So because who was it? Bush snubbed Trump. Biden snubbed Bush, and then Biden started the conversation with Trump, and they got to talking for back and forth on and off for about 10 minutes. I don't know what they were talking about.
And Obama and Trump too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, that's what I meant. Those two are just going back and forth. it looked like Kamala wanted to just stand up with like a Glock and just blow the whole fucking bunch of them away. I mean, she had this look on her face like, fucking kill you.
Am I wrong? But does she look like the Joker? Like, can she ever have a straight face? Like,
I don't know. She's got some kind of weird thing that goes
smile on her face.
Yeah,
like,
she's got this weird thing that goes on right here in her face. I agree with you. It's some kind of freakily weird thing. Was it Bruce? Where are you at? People, you know the rule. If you're going to text me on Messenger, you got to tell me where you're from. Yeah, because
I'll take Tulsi, man. If I'm going to choose a powerful woman,
Tulsi. I love Tulsi too, baby. I was watching her today. I could go, oh, Tulsi, come to daddy, baby. I would spank Tulsi's little hiney like she wouldn't know what the hell got hold of her. Close your ears.
Children present.
I was going to say, close your ears over here. Leah, close your damn ears. You're too young.
Earmuffs.
That's right.
I turned 40 this year, by the way.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you old lady, you. You're just a baby. You're like Shawn.
40?
Y'all both are babies. Yes. You and Shawn are both babies.
Leah.
Look at all this gray hair.
Oh, so what? I got gray hair. Look all up in here, man. Shit's all over the place. Yes.
I got it too.
The whole thing is white.
Shawn got some gray hair. Don't worry, Sean's got kids. He will get more gray hairs. So just give it time. What's that, Bruce? So no, anyway, where are you from, really? Okay, so you're from Portland. So what are you telling me? Oh, you're from Portland, but you've been working in LA. So what's been going on? You got some news for us? They haven't asked you to evacuate. They just closed off part of Hollywood Boulevard towards. I have no idea where that's at.
I do.
You ever seen that
work.
video?
So wait. So let me say, you know where the Roosevelt Hotel is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say we're standing there because I've stayed there a few times. So we'll use that as the point of reference. If I'm standing there facing out the front door, what are you talking about? Right or left? Is that east or west? It's east, and that's what you're talking about. So just about 6 blocks from there, it's closed off because they're not sure. It depends on the wind if the wind's going to turn or not turn. Well, look, I hope it don't go up there because I got friends right at the road there at Arthur Services and shit. And I don't want to see the place get burned down. There's no way to get all that stuff out of there.
Pictures from their offices, and it's how far do you say the fire line is?
In all fairness, now on a different note, doesn't these people called Scientology have a big church down there?
Yeah, they do. It's like right down the street.
I lived right next door to the Church of Scientology. It's on Fountain
I've
Boulevard.
been there. I've been there. So I'll tell you one of the biggest things I was surprised because we're not going to talk about this much because it's sensitive with a bunch of my friends. So we're not going to talk about this much. But I was invited to one of the church dinners to hear David Miscavige speak. It was an interesting thing. But anyway, while I was there, the person who I went with was telling me, it was Carmen, by the way, Shawn, you know Carmen. And he was telling me
how good people.
Yeah, he is a good people. And
that's how I know you, by the way, because of Carmen.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Shawn, Carmen's great, but he was showing me their entertainment people thing. The thing is 6 blocks long. I'm not shitting y'all, man. This thing is 6 blocks long. It's like mini Hollywood over there. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, that's all we're going to talk about, but because I don't want anybody writing to me and telling me this, that, or the other thing. Y'all can save that for on the chat show or something that we do on Saturdays. Where's that, Bruce? The chat is just I'm gonna have to make a thing for this. The chat is a show about nothing and everything. That's what it's about. I there's no other way to describe it because sometimes we're just a jibber, and sometimes we're really intense on intense topics. It just depends what's going on. But most of the time we let you the listeners kind of guide the topics by writing in either through emails or through coming in one of the chat rooms. Or because y'all can come in on Rumble now too, by the way. When you're on Rumble, if you're texting us on Rumble, it shows up in the chat group now. So you can catch us on there or go on YouTube or Facebook. And there's usually many other people's Facebooks that are logged in. So you can come in through all of those means and
that's from Rumble right there.
Text us. Laughlin, Nevada. Man, what the hell? Laughlin. I went to Laughlin several years. Yeah, that's where the bombing derby is. Yes, I was in the Navy. Yes. And I spent several years at different times at Laughlin. Yeah, I know all about all of that. No, you can talk about that.
Isn't that the airport from where the planes are launched to?
Laughlin is.
That's
how to describe Laughlin. Wildfires is just a big Navy base in the middle of a desert. Yes,
I don't think it's called McCarran. I don't think it's called McCarran.
I don't know what it's called anymore, to be honest with you, because a couple of Navy bases have changed. And it's always funny when you're in a Navy base that's landlocked. You know, because I've been a couple of them now, and it's kind of weird feeling.
Navy base.
You don't see any ships anywhere. You see a lot of airplanes, though. Oh, no, it's great. I mean, in all fairness, I had so much fun doing this. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's really dangerous. But it's
you got
first
casinos
week
there in Lockman, man. They got
So that's but this is far better than casinos, my friend. Oh no, so you work 2 days on, you 2 days off. So one of the petty officers told me one time, he said, just before I got promoted, I was an enlisted man at the time, and I was getting ready to be promoted to officer. He told me, he said, there's a club up the road, you can rent a room, and it pays for your dinner and your benefits that come with your dinners and staying at their place. It's also got a casino in it, so you can gamble. The place was really nice. It's really nice. It's very comfortable. And it wasn't really, you would think for what you were getting, it would be way more expensive, but apparently it wasn't. So, you know, a bunch of the guys, we'd all get different rooms, and some of us would get rooms. Anyway, we'd go work 2 days on. They wouldn't see us for 2 days because we're just like exhausted. If you did find a room, all you were doing was going to sleep. But the other 2 days, it was drink, eat, well, y'all can get the rest. This is an old enough crowd. I think y'all can figure it out.
Yeah, Amelia brought up a point. Amelia says something about how Canadians are signing a petition to remove the Trudeau name from the airport in Quebec.
Hey! Don't pick on pink shorts. Don't make me take. I love pink shorts.
Mr. Pink Shorts.
Trudeau didn't Trudeau just put out a statement that he wasn't going to run again? I don't know, run again as prime minister.
He resigned.
No,
he resigned, sort of.
As soon as they
listening to my,
he's out.
Now, listening to my Canadian friends, he don't sound like he's completely
He can go back to Cuba now.
What dirt did they find on him? What dirt is about to get exposed on him? Like, what is about to, like, why did he all of a sudden?
Popularity. Their country.
Well, no, the woman running the strings. The woman running the strings in Canada. I forget what her name is.
Resign.
Yeah, the woman running this, like, because he was a kindergarten teacher, and who had like a famous name, right? Because his
daddy,
his father, was
Fidel
also
Castro.
prime minister.
Yes,
he was actually Pierre Trudeau, his father.
Pierre, which he looks nothing like. I'd love that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's so funny,
exactly
people.
like
You can go get a picture of his father at around 35. A picture of Castro and a picture of Trudeau, and put Trudeau in the middle, and he looks so much like Castro. It's scary. It's you're kind of like. And now Rosalind Castro came out and said that they've got the birth records, the whole 9 yards. They got all the evidence. They've even got blood types that would prove that he's Castro's kid. And she asked him. She said, "When you're tired of living in Canada, you can come down here and run Cuba." I was like,
I know, Ancestry.com said that he was his kid. You know?
I don't understand why we haven't annexed Cuba. I'm
likelihood.
confused by that. Cuba should just be a Commonwealth.
Because the last time we tried it, the Russians put nuclear weapons there.
Well, the Russians lucky they can get across the ocean these days.
I said earlier that their stealth subs can't maneuver without us knowing where they're going.
Well, no, Russia's plenty occupied. It's got a lot of weird stuff it's got to worry about in the Middle East right now, because when Trump gets in, if Hamas haven't given our hostages back, we're going to fucking war. Well, I guess we'll call it police action, but it's going to be a war. We'll see if he's Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was going to go kill some people. I think Reagan actually was upset that he didn't get to go kill a bunch of people.
Well, it's because the Hezbollah bombed killed 300 Marines.
Yeah, remember
that?
Well, they had it was all because of Jimmy Carter and his bullshit with the hostages. So that's what got Reagan in office, was the hostages.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he bungled it. I mean, how many people died in those helicopter crashes? He bungled that. That was just pathetic.
At least 5 or 6.
And Reagan, it looked like, even though Reagan had a lot of good stuff and he was a real strong asshole, if it wouldn't have been for Ollie North, Reagan would have ended badly in an impeachment. But Ollie said, no, I did that. The president didn't know anything about it. I mean, Ollie literally threw herself on the fucking sword.
Reagan
he
was
did. I
a
mean,
pure genius. I don't recall.
And wasn't he pardoned right away? I mean, didn't Reagan pardon him even before?
Yeah, there was something that went on, but somehow or another, I think he got
only a couple times
for like
history
$11 million or something.
A politician is saying something great. I don't recall. That's just amazing, right?
He just said some really. I got to tell you, man.
Andrew Cuomo got the last big one. I only lied to protect the truth. You know what I mean? I'm saying I'm going to use that one day, and I'm going to say thank you, Andrew. I only lied.
I noticed. Speaking of that, I noticed his brother Chris is back, trying to get working, and he's been sucking a little Trump ass, and just like.
Don't you love this? Like, did you all talk about Zuckerberg yet?
Oh no, we're going to talk about it. Well, we might as well now.
I mean, you want to talk about the most sniveling, self-serving piece of you know what? I mean, the guy allowed like complete false information to perpetuate through his platform, and then censored one of the most important things, not in this past election, but the election before that. And now he's all, I'm eliminating all the woke. He's just like the classical lizard man. Yeah. He just sticks his finger in the wind, and then he becomes 100% that. He just shape shifts right into the next, whatever.
Yeah. He's like that doctor in Battlestar Galactica, like the newer one.
Yeah.
It was just kind of blows with the wind, and whatever the popular choice is. Oh no, I was there the whole time.
I've got to say, I've been real happy to see how many people have come out for Trump that would not have before. How many people are openly talking about him? How many people are kissing the ring?
He's the victim.
Nonstop. I mean, he can't get a day off at Mar-a-Lago. There's people showing up every day. I mean, he was talking about this today, how people now they got unscheduled people showing up down there. So Chris Cuomo asked to go see him. The morning Suck Up Joe's already been down there to suck his ass. He's been down there, and a couple of other big famous ones been down there. Trudeau's been down there. He wouldn't let Trudeau stay at Mar-a-Lago. He told me
he's also trying to petition to get the islands and Mar-a-Lago and the areas around his Mar-a-Lago estate like privatized.
Yeah, well, because it's going to be his house, so he wanted to stay there instead of the White House, but he tried that last time in 2016. But they're like, no, they can't have a place for you, Mr. President. He said, but I don't want to get nuked. DC's first place going to get nuked.
Yeah, but
I live in Malaga. Nobody wants to nuke Florida.
To get nuked.
Nobody wants to nuke Florida. And you nuke Florida, you're going to regret it. So I mean,
that's
DC. We might not be all that much upset. That Putin said that one time. You know that, right?
Strategically, they don't want to nuke the vacation area. They want to nuke the cities and whatever. But
that's right.
They want to keep the vacation for themselves, man.
Putin said one time about after he had just taken. Well, actually, he was Medvedev's prime minister. He said, "I really don't think that the Americans would be all that upset if we nuked DC when Congress was in." He said, "I think it would be like a clean slate for them." He meant it too. I mean, it was.
He's correct. He's
correct. I mean, we'd all be like, "Oh, we're so bad," but we'd all be like, "Oh, look! Oh, wait a minute! Now this might not be as bad as we think." If nobody's invading,
burning down, people are like, "Good." You know what I mean? CEOs are getting assassinated. People are like, good.
People are mad.
Like, you got to think of the mentality out there that makes someone so hopeless and desperate where they really feel like vindicated in some weird way.
So many lives are being ruined for the benefit of just a few.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what's the benefit of keeping somebody off of a life-saving medication or keeping them from getting a life-saving life improvement type of surgery?
Not to mention that. Now, I'm not going to say any of the drugs here because Joe will get demonetized. But did anybody see Mel Gibson on Rogan about the cancer treatments that?
Oh wait, I think I caught part of that.
I did not watch that. I wish I would have.
So Mel Gibson has three friends, he claims, that had stage 4 cancer. At least some of whom had stage 4 cancer. And they used 3 drugs, which I'm not going to mention so that Joe doesn't get demonetized, that cured all 3 of them.
Oh, yeah, there is a cure for cancer. It's out there. They just don't want to cure. They don't want to cure cancer because there's where the profit's in the treatment, not the cure.
The Mayo Clinic would go out of business.
Keeping your value. What do they call it? Oh God. Something of living. But they don't want to cure it. They want to just keep you strung along so that they can develop this drug and make you get hooked on that, and then the new one and get you hooked on that.
See, they don't look at it correctly, and I think I've been watching the monetized plans change, and I think they're
It's not
figuring it out.
preventative.
So it would be better to cure cancer because everybody would go back to smoking and eating fatty shit and doing all kind of stuff, and you could control heart disease. You'd make all kind of money. Doctors would make far more money than they do now because they would always be curing cancer. People would be coming in, coming back, and they'd be curing it. And people just wouldn't care because they know they wouldn't die.
I got
and the longer you keep one of us alive, the more money you make. So I don't know, and I think they're starting to figure it out because I have noticed more good stuff for cancer treatment is coming out, and I have seen because of Elon Musk, I've seen 3 other companies now pay for experimental drugs for things like cancer and leukemia and stuff like that. They said that they would make sure that that if the insurance company didn't cover the experimental drugs, they would. Elon Musk did that because of one of his employees. He found
the COVID vaccines started off being cancer vaccines. That was their beginning research of cancer vaccines, and they adapted for COVID-19.
Well, that RNA research is going to be interesting stuff to see where it goes in the future.
You sure it didn't start out as like a genocide weapon? Are you sure it didn't start that way?
Lab, like everything else. With a patent.
Yeah, we're going to create the virus so that we can create the cure, so that we can, thin the population a little bit.
Get the profits.
Yeah.
So I seen the first nanite pill the other day. So the problem they were having with this little pill is they couldn't figure out how to power it. It had all these little special gadgets in it and this little brain power. And the damn thing is like the size of my pinky nail. And they couldn't figure out how to power it. So they decided to put a wire on it and just send it through wherever they're sending it with the wire attached. And it works.
Huh.
So now instead of going in and giving you a stent, they can just go in and remove the plaque and take it out. And they can do that in all your blood vessels. Heart attacks will fast become a thing of the past. And then they're talking about a new drug that actually.
That's good. Back to the strip club with espresso. Woohoo! You know what I mean?
That's what we were saying. I mean, if
I'll tell you, man.
if you start finding ways to save man will start finding ways to kill man. That's just the way it is. Every time somebody tells us something that's bad for you, it's
woman
like
with mute button.
Only
Think
thing
about it. It's like vapes.
Way that my body stops making kidney stones, so I can drink goddamn coffee again. Please.
Just drink it without milk.
You gotta drink coconut water, man.
It doesn't matter. The caffeine does it.
Swear. I have friends who swear by. I drink
sugar.
all the time.
I still get kidney stones.
Non-caffeine, man.
You like potassium, man. Drink coconut water.
Non-caffeine coffee
The
starts.
non-caffeine stuff do the same thing. Tea does it.
Coconut water.
Caffeine is the only substance that I mind altering or mood stabilizing or mood enhancing substance that I partake in anymore. Caffeine, just give me a cup of coffee.
Caffeine, man.
That's when the Renaissance started. The moment caffeine arrived into Europe.
Wow.
Yeah.
And chocolate.
Seriously.
And chocolate.
Oh yeah, chocolate's good too.
Yeah, dark chocolate mess you up good, man.
A little tobacco. The good old days.
A friend of mine, he was telling me that he said, I remember when I started smoking cigarettes, I used to get high off it. I said, for the first month or two, you'll get a buzz. He said after that, it just becomes an addiction. And he's like, no. He said, but why can't I? said, well, you have to quit for a while and then go smoke. And I said, then you get all high again. He's like, no, I don't want to do this. It's really hard to quit.
When I was an entertainment writer, man, I went to do the Renaissance Fair in Sterling Forest, right, just outside of upstate. It's not really upstate, in Westchester-ish area, anyway. And I hung out with these guys for like 2 days, man. They got me like drunk and shit on this mead. They had mead and they had like weed. Weed and mead, man.
Mead halls.
I was eating turkey legs. It was a good time. I'll tell you, that's like the good time, man. You just chilling.
As long as Grendel's not outside lurking.
Living the fantasy.
While you're all drunk.
That sounds like a fun, theatrically themed pub.
Oh, Renaissance fairs are awesome. I've been to the one in PA and the one in Maryland. They're fantastic.
Bangers and mash. Do that too.
Oh.
Make a public pub called Mead and Weed. and let it be like Renaissance themed.
My favorite
That's
name
gotta be
for
an
a
illegal
pub
state, huh?
is the capital letter M, period, the capital letter T, period, and mugs, MUGGS. You got it. Empty mugs.
You ever been to any
What, there were a
pirate
lot of
clubs?
weed smoking SOBs in them.
I don't
them
even know.
bars
They
in,
probably still have pirate clubs now.
LA.
But like back in the day, these guys would take over an old movie theater or an old building that just kind of been shitsville, and then build a club in there just for a couple of weeks. Totally illegal. I mean, like everything in there is illegal. Everything going on there is illegal. And they would advertise like in the Village Voice in the personal section. They'd be like an address and a word like zebra or something. And you go there, do the knock, you know. It'd be like zebra 1, 2, 3, and they let you in there. I'll tell you, those were the days of freedom, man. I don't even know if that exists anymore, but those were good days. I'm reminiscing.
Yeah.
Can anybody have fun anymore since 9/11, man? I'm just saying, like in New York City, things got so paranoid, and it just got worse and worse, didn't it? I mean, that was a long time ago.
There's a lot of paranoia out there, but down here it's a little
I
different.
have friends in the city who won't go out. They're afraid to go outside. They're afraid to go out. You know, I mean, and I'm like, well, who are you voting in? Who the hell are you voting in where you're afraid to go out? You know, how come people aren't protecting you?
I'm definitely not afraid to go out. Like where I live right now, I'm not afraid to go out. I just don't want to. Like, what's the point? What is there to go out for?
See, I watched The Sopranos, and I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? It gets my 27% Italian up in me. You know, I'm like, yeah.
Well, I think a lot of the problem is that COVID killed so many like fun outdoor things, like Renaissance fairs and that kind of thing, that they're now so far away for people that it's economically too expensive.
Burning Man's still
an hour
going
there
on.
and an hour back home.
Yeah, last year was a disaster though.
Yeah, it was like a flood, right?
Yeah, it flooded last year. Yeah, a good friend of mine, Charis Malloy, goes down there every year, and we were talking about it. You know, they were in a pretty good position, but she said it was you know, a lot of people got stuck, sinking. And, I mean, come on, it was just dirt, and then all of a sudden it was rain.
Yeah,
The desert people, it's not supposed to be raining. It's but it did.
I don't know about that Burning Man festival. I hear it used to be something. It used to be something sacred back in the day, but last decade or more.
It was a witchy thing in the very beginning, and then now it's just a party.
Now it's a burning.
Yeah.
Don't they have a burning woman too?
There's a lot of people out there selling stuff, so it's.
Don't they have a burning trans? They got one of those too, man. You're gonna have to have something like that.
I've never been to one, so I can't.
Keep it fair. You know
really
what I mean? Keep it fair.
Well, you're not that far away. It's only an Arizona.
Yeah.
I thought Burning Man was in Nevada.
Yeah, it's in Nevada.
Is it Nevada? Okay, maybe it is Nevada.
Yeah.
It's
But it was like
I
on the
believe it
California
rained
side.
in Nevada. I've never seen rain I've been in Nevada 100,000 times.
Oh, it rains. There's
oh yeah, monsoons.
You get flash floods. So when I was at the National Training Center, we actually had an operation. It was called Operation Noah's Ark, because if it got really bad, you would have these floods just wash through the wadis and just take everything with them.
There's nowhere for the water to go. It doesn't seep into the ground. It just runs off, basically. It just runs off. Yeah. Yep.
And Las Vegas is shaped like a bowl, and their system for flood irrigation is not great, so it floods bad in Las Vegas. It just fills up like a fishbowl.
They also have this huge tunnel system underneath the city where all the homeless live.
I know. We were talking about that before you got here, Sean.
Yeah, that's an overflow flood system.
They just drown, right? Like people drown.
Yeah, that's what that is. It's a flood system.
I've been there. I've been underneath. I don't know if it's expansive. Like it's pretty big. I've been to a portion of it, and I knew somebody who lived there for a couple of years in the tunnels.
Oh my god!
He took me there. We rode bikes down through the tunnel, 4 miles from the surface ground down into the tunnels.
Oh,
yeah. So I mean, it.
Was there light down
real?
There?
No, you had to have flashlights. I had 2 bike lights, and he had bike lights, and he showed me where he lived and where he had a roommate, and they set up a big tent, and he worked at a pizza place, and he would ride his bike from the tunnels to the pizza place, and they had a whole setup. They had a shower, they were able to wash their clothes.
If my life ever crashed and burned like that, I would just become a bank robber. And then, I mean, if you get caught, you go to jail. It's way better than living in a tunnel under Las Vegas.
Because you could wake up dead, like just drown.
I'm gonna get old anyway. What's an old folks home? What's an old folks home? It's a room, right? You're in a room and they feed you.
Well, that's the worst. Like if you get old, you don't want to get old in Nevada. You hear about this lady who would just come in and like kidnap old people and just say, oh, they're not mentally. Oh yeah. Yeah, she would use the state to do it. She had like state officials in on it. And what they would do is they would just say, oh, you're not competent. And then there was some law that allowed like these like retirement communities to basically abduct you. And then they would just drain these people dry. And their family members would try to like come in and like, hey, that's like
But they were wards of the state. Like, they became wards of the state. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, she was convicted and all that stuff, but like, yeah, perfectly sane, normal, elderly people who were just advanced in years, they would just come in and, escort them out, and their family members would not be able to get them out.
Couldn't do an old folks home, man. I don't care how messed up I get. If I can't control myself, I'll live at the beach. Whatever, man.
I can walk out in the water and wash my ass.
I'm not wearing diapers either. I'll just stay at the beach and kind of cover up my mess like a cat in the sand.
walk into the water.
I know a guy who lives at the beach and he's got a metal detector and he makes like a ton of money. He lives in this camper and he got a metal detector, so there is a way out.
He makes a ton of money, lives in a camper with a metal detector. What's he doing? Like mining uranium? Like what?
He's in Florida. He's got his metal detector. He goes up and down the beaches and he finds all kinds of gold and all kinds of stuff.
That's still a thing? People still do that shit?
Oh yeah, people do it all the time.
People lose jewelry.
Well, the other Shawn, he goes gold mining.
Yeah.
He goes prospecting and gold mining.
Mr. Kelly goes gold mining.
How do you think he bought that new Maverick truck?
Pittsburgh?
He bought that truck with his gold.
Don't they call that smash and grab?
I think 24 wives are all happy.
It's code word for smash and grab. I'm going gold mining.
For gold.
Hey, look, look. If it works for you, it works for you, man. I can't complain. If it works out the way it's supposed to be, I don't know what the hell that's about.
I think that people are resorting to crime. That's terrible, man.
I mean, why would I mine gold when I can just go down to Walgreens and take up the $900 worth of free merchandise?
$900.
Well, they're getting funny about that now. I noticed LA passed some new laws about that, huh?
No, LA passed no new laws. It was
they were showing them the other day on TV, arresting people for less than $200 or $300.
It's the referendum system. So all the people in California said, screw this. You will enforce the law. So they passed Proposition, I think it's 63 or 36 or something like that. And it forced the politicians to enforce the laws. That's why all this stuff is happening.
Well, that's good because they doing something. Because I've seen them putting people
in
jail. Because the one girl, she big.
Statewide.
Yeah. But this big girl, she coming out of Walmart with a TV or something else. The cops grab her. What you doing? You can't arrest me for this. I've been doing this all along. You can't arrest me for this. I got a buyer for this. You can't do that. I'm sitting there laughing my ass off. Going, no way. She can't really believe that, right? And the cop says, well, yeah, if it would have been 2 weeks ago, we'd have just let you go. But no, you got to go to jail now. And you could just see she was stunned. And then the guy from Walmart comes out, we'll bring that stuff. Oh, he said, no, that's evidence. That's got to come with us. I said, Walmart's still going to lose the stuff.
That's all right. No, but they'll lose one TV, but they'll save a lifetime of TVs by getting rid of it.
Oh, it's just too funny. Only in LA. Down here, they see you try to leave with a TV, somebody be tackling you at the fucking door, man. It'd be like, where are you going, asshole? You're not going anywhere.
That's why it's make the mafia great again. Just bring them back. You'll have Vinny just shoot you, kneecap you. Just shoot.
Now,
so you fall inside the building, not outside the building.
Right after Katrina, you were watching people rolling in big TVs and big 70 and 80, 90-inch TVs down the sidewalk. I'm thinking, by the time you get that thing back to your house, it's going to be a worthless piece of shit.
The screen's cracked, pixels missing.
Oh man, because some of them were them old style projector type televisions. That shit was going to be all out of line and stuff. It was just no. But then you see people going out there with flat screens, carrying them on their backs. And one lady had three of them, three different sized ones strapped to her back. And she was
and then there were looters stealing from the looters.
Oh yeah, there definitely was looters stealing from the looters. It was insane. It was like, and there was a place I used to stop to get cigarettes at when I used to smoke, and I ran into the guy. He said, "Oh look, they trashed my place. He said, anything you want, Joe, just go in there." He said, "Look, I'm gonna write this for you. That way, if a cop sees you or something, you won't get in any trouble." So this place was near interstate. They trashed. They went in there. They stole all the food, ate all the food, cooked a lot of their shit on the guy's floors and stuff. I'm like, come on. Stole most of his cigarettes and all kind of liquor. Well, he gave me the keys to the cabinets. We went and got all the rest of the cigarettes out, his cokes and liquor and stuff like that, and brought them home with us. He told us just keep them. Yeah, that was a couple of grand worth of stuff. And I mean, they just trashed the place. And then down the street from there, we stopped. They had another convenience store. We were watching the guys trying to steal the ATM. It was comic relief. Man. Yeah. It was. I recorded it somewhere on my Facebook page. God knows where, because it's so long ago. But it was. It was. The guy put on his truck, ripped his bumper off the truck, and still that wasn't enough. That was not enough. So he wrapped it around the frame of the truck, and I'm thinking, I walked up to him. I said, "Dude,
the tires out from underneath of it."
I said, if that goes past that metal, I forgot what they call that little piece right there. It pulls it out. I said, you see this leaf spring? It's gone. I said, it's going to be bad, dude. He's like, oh, no. I said, okay, well, you know what? We got to go. I didn't want to be there when the cops came because I knew sooner or later they were coming. So we come back like an hour later. The truck's there. He's not there because we went in to get some cokes out of the store because the windows are gone. And there's only like 5 of us in the neighborhood anyway. The truck itself, the bed is now standing up sideways like this. The left back wheel was completely pulled out. I mean, the whole thing was turned like this, and I'm sitting there going, and guess what? The ATM machine was still there.
Yep.
I was laughing my ass off. And I'm not gonna tell you people. I know how to get an ATM machine. I know I got a friend of mine who they own an ATM company, and I've learned some interesting things over the years dealing with them. But first off, they got dead weight in those machines. Yeah, like 500 pounds of dead weight. I mean, it's ridiculous how heavy they are. And if you can get them out and get them in your truck, getting into the cash box is not as easy as you think it is. And I mean, there's some saws that if you've got some good money and can get some diamond blades, you can make your life a little easier. But still, and to be honest with you, a lot of times there's not that much cash in them. They come and check them every 2 days or so. So if you're on the downside, because remember they're using cards to get the money, they're not putting money in.
Or unless it's attached to a bank and it's refilled like hourly.
Or you just get a few pounds of C4 and some thermite and go to town, you'll be fine.
Yes, it was so funny because there was a bunch of stores where you seen people try to get it. Every now and then you'd see somebody got one out. Whether they got the money out, I don't know, but they did get the machine out. But for the most part, because there was no cops around, at the time. From the day we got back, which was 2 days after the storm, my 9mm was on my right side and my 380 was down on my boot. And everywhere I went, I had a gun, and I didn't conceal it. I wanted people to see I was wearing a gun, just in case anybody got any
$50,000
stupid ideas.
Information leading to the arrest of anyone who tampers with an ATM.
Yeah, and there's gonna be a lot of that stuff down there in LA. And oh, by the way, guys, most ATMs are fireproof. Didn't know that. And even after Katrina, even though they were flooded, they took the compressed, would dry it out because they knew what the count was, and they'd give it to the bank, and the bank would give them that sum of money back in new fresh bills. Ain't that freaking nice? And matter of fact,
working for you right there.
Matter of fact, I had 75 guys working for me right after Katrina. So the guy, one of the big companies came by and offered to rent our employees for 3 weeks to go count the money at the bank up the street. They were separated and bagging it and stuff. And they had to find evidence of what denominations. Anyway, the guy came by. He said, what are you paying these guys? I said, well, most of these guys are working between $33 and $35 an hour. He said, I'll give you $105 an hour you can pay them for whatever. And he said, plus, he said you can take their 30, whatever you're paying them out, and we'll give them another 15 on top of that. So at least that way you're putting at least $80 per person in your pocket per hour. I was like, really? Take them, people. Take them. I'll get some more. Because we had a good pipeline outside the state to bring in help. So we were lucky because of the radio station, actually. We had a pipeline, so I was finding help all over the place. People saying, I can't, where are you getting help from? I said, I got them coming. I mean, we had them come as far as Saskatchewan to come down and work with us. Gene, we're going to play this clip, and then we're going to come back for a few minutes and talk about this clip. And then we got to go take a break. And what's that? Where are you at? Oh, you're in Canada. We were just talking about Vancouver the other day. You and Seattle want to merge. I mean, come on, you're like 2 hours apart.
Where all the liberals going to threaten to go now if Canada becomes part of America? They're going to all move
to California. All of a sudden, Canada's going to have like 15 million people in it because the rest of them are going to be living in California.
Man. They can't go to California. They're burned out. Where are they going to go?
Just a little part of California's burned out. That ain't nothing.
They got to go somewhere.
California, a big ass state. They got to move over there where Shawn lives and shit, man.
Canada doesn't.
They already live here. All the crazy.
That's what I said. Yeah, well, they're going to double up on this. Start tearing down houses.
California do you live in?
Northern California.
He lives in hell.
Near San Francisco.
Well, I was born in Fairfield.
So south of Fairfield, Pleasant Hill.
Oh, okay. I like the Pleasant Hill Mall area.
Oh, you're thinking Pleasanton. We don't.
Oh, Pleasanton.
I guess they have a mall. They have like the Sun Valley Mall nearby.
Yeah, it's like a ped mall almost.
Oh, what?
Isn't it outdoor? Ped mall.
When you say ped mall,
I'm not touching that.
Entirely different image.
I'm not touching that.
No touching. No touching.
Oh shit! I'm not going there, man. No, I'm not going there. Oh Jesus! The people we work with, I swear. Anyway, we're gonna play this clip.
It's like Michael Jackson Christmas.
Oh shit! I know. We're gonna play this clip, people. I don't know what the hell this is. Oh, this is Trump's. Is it the clip I want? No, this ain't what I want. We're going to play this, but we got something else. Hold on.
No, Pedo Mall is San Francisco. The Tenderloin. They got the Pedo Mall.
Oh, no. Your Tenderloin is like, if you want to get killed, you go to the Tenderloin.
There's this guy on YouTube called Metal Leo, and then he goes around with a video camera showing all these places that are closed, stores that are closed, boarded up, broken, whatever. So he does San Francisco, he does LA, and he goes around. But he really does a good service documenting the amount of, he went down to the Wharf. The Wharf is like shut down. There's like maybe one restaurant left open, and it's vacant. People don't go there anymore. They don't want to have conventions, and the hotels are vacant, and it's terrible. And it's actually a beautiful city, but
it was.
Yeah, it was. But it's so expensive to live. You know what I mean? Like, still, you can't afford to live there if you had to really,
you can't park anything because it'll get jimmied and somebody will like steal everything.
California is big bucks. Northern California is beautiful. I mean,
yeah,
just beautiful, especially where all the pot's grown. That whole region of them is just beautiful.
Emerald Triangle.
Yeah.
I lived up there too. Humboldt County, Trinity County, and Mendocino County.
Oh yeah. Mendocino is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super expensive there though. Same,
Yeah. Big Sur. I like the Big Sur area.
Yep.
Up by where Humboldt University is, like it's a university up in the Redwoods and Arcata.
Like that.
Petrolia,
yeah.
Yeah.
The more you get towards Oregon, I think that you get that nice plush greenery.
Yeah, it gets really, really nice.
Peter Santinello actually interviewed a few people up there, and one of the guys he interviewed apparently bought his own little town. And
that's a recent one he did. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 11 people that live on in the whole township.
The guy was inviting people to come homestead. He's like,
yeah, I'd do it.
If I was like younger, maybe. You know what I mean? I'm too jaded now, and
if I had any discernible skills,
I would do the big RV, the one that folds out into like a bigger like space, and you just drive the hell out. Something happens, drive the hell out of there, man. Drive somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, some shit's happened. Oh, see you later. And where'd Mike go? He's gone. You know? Like,
I got a real green thumb.
There's this one that they have that has like a balcony and all that, and 2 floors, you know, and it's like, and I was looking at it because I'm actually looking for a chunk of land. I'm looking to buy a house this year, but I'm looking for a chunk of land and plunk one of these down and then build a cabin. And I want to be like really off the grid as far as possible. You know, they don't let you be off the grid. They don't let you disconnect from the power company. You know, my friend did that, and they went after him. They started like putting these levies against his land. You know, the state did that, and then, you know, saying you can't disconnect. You have to, even if you don't use the power, you have to be connected. Imagine that.
Why?
Have you seen a YouTube channel called Cheap RV Living?
No, I follow this guy in Alaska though, who lives in his cabin he has a house too, but he drives all around in his cabin on the back of his Ford. He spends a lot of time fixing his Ford, man. It's hilarious, you know. If you own a Ford, you spend a lot of time fixing. If you know any guys that have Fords, they always have a lot of extra tools and parts. Like you can always, like, you know, oh, I got a part. Hey, my pulley fell off. Oh, I got an extra one of those. Got it right there in my truck.
No more crack for y'all, man. We cut y'all off the crack, guys. Man, what the hell is this?
But I like these guys on YouTube. They're cool. They're free. You know, they're doing their thing. They're making a few bucks on YouTube, man. I mean, that's awesome.
That YouTube channel, Cheap RV Living, is ran by a guy who's been living either in a vehicle or in a small, like, I think he downsized to a Subaru Outback. And he's been doing it for like almost a decade, and he interviews people that decided to give up the 9-to-5. A lot of them are older and are on Social Security and don't have much of an income, or they're trying to escape some type of domestic violence situation or something like that. And he's interviewed people that have lived converted ambulances, that have pull behind cargo sheds or cargo trailers that they converted into a tiny home, and people that have, there's this one lady he interviewed that made her Fiat 500 into a living space. And he offers a lot of tips and tricks of what to do. And from what it sounds like, since he's always on the road, he's got a small, you know, following of people that he invites on his caravan. And one of my questions was, because I've watched several of his videos, is for people that want to live the van life and want to live in an RV full time, how do they go about registering their vehicles and keeping them insured or getting mail if they have to update their driver's license? Usually you have to get it mailed to you, right? So
general delivery. So you can have your mail delivered anywhere to any post office.
What do you mean you gotta have your driver's license? Where the hell y'all live?
Driver's license has to be. They won't send it to a PO box. It has to go to.
Depends what state, buddy, man. New York State's totally different. Totally different rules.
So those are the questions I have, because of course it's something that I feel like is in my wheelhouse, and those are just the types of things that keep me from going full on out into it. Is, you know, the logistics of it. Like, what do I do if I've been living in my car for however long and I need to update my registration? You know, what do I do when I need to update my driver's license and I don't have a physical address anymore because I've been fully committed to living life on the road?
Just use like a parent's address or a relative's address.
If it's general
I don't have any of those.
They can't reject you. They tend to want to have just a mailing address, because there's a lot of people who are homeless, and then, you know, they get state benefits, federal benefits, and things like that. You know, and there's not too much they have to supply. They're social and that type of thing. But, you know, a lot of them have the address of general delivery. They're homeless. They have no.
Anyway, we got to go to break.
PO box.
We dedicating this song to Los Angeles. This is for you, LA. We'll be back in about 4 or 5 minutes, guys. Good man, about 7 or 8 minutes. So I want y'all to stay tuned to United Public Radio and News on the flip side. Have a listen, and like I said, we'll be back in a few minutes.
For those about to sing, we salute you. For those about to play, for those who want to rock. Living in that, living free. Season ticket on a one-way ride. Asking nothing, leave me be. Taking everything in my stride. Don't need reason, don't need rhyme. Ain't nothing I could ever do. Going down.
Looks like he's gonna have a hernia.
That's what I was gonna say. He looks like he's in pain.
I know, doesn't he? I'm like, dude, you okay, man? Well, this is for you. Look, planes in the background. Okay, highway to hell. Oh, yeah, stars with horns on. But there we
There's
go.
their homage to Satan. Throw up those devil horns. Everyone's worshiping Satan in Hollywood.
There we go. We got them all right there. Just for you Hollywood people. Well, that's okay. I was listening to what's her name?
It's like they can't wait. They're excited. They're like, yeah, hell, bring it. Bring me to hell. I want to go to hell. Like, what?
This is pretty much all Hollywood, and it's Grammys, so.
What world come to? Has it always been this way, where hell is like glamorized?
Well, in some places.
No, I don't want to be on the highway to hell. I want to be on that stairway to heaven.
In his case, it looks like somebody shoving a corn can in the back.
Yeah, let's play some Led Zeppelin Stairway to Heaven now. For real.
That's actually the stairway we want to be walking on or not.
That is 10 times better than AC/DC.
What's that? Like,
Stairway to Heaven.
well, I like Zeppelin. I like Metallica.
Zeppelin blows AC/DC to dust.
I agree. That's an accurate statement.
It's welcome back, everybody. By the way, no, wait, Mark, what were you talking about? No, I prefer actually Zeppelin. No, that was just a tribute to LA since their asses burning. Highway to Hell sounds good for them. I don't know what that first song was. I didn't. If I knew that was on there, we would have deleted that right off of there.
One of their new songs,
whatever it was, sucked. Sorry, AC/DC, but that song. So I mean, there's only like 3 songs y'all sing I like anyway.
The vocalist, I don't know his name. I'm not an AC/DC person.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, he looks like he's gonna have a hernia, or like he looks like he's
I
gonna.
think he's 75 years old actually. So I mean,
he looks like
the band's not exactly young.
I know. I mean, they're older.
They're still out there.
Than
They're
I
the
am.
quintessential rock and roll band. When Bon Scott died, that's when Brian Johnson took over. That was their big album, Back in Black, came through. But they stayed consistently the same. And Angus Young doesn't use anything like no pedals and things like that, which is kind of interesting. He gets all the sound from the guitar and the amps, so I can respect the natural part of it. They're just crazy Australians.
I thought they were from New Zealand.
What's that?
I thought they were from New Zealand.
Nah. Australia.
And they were discovered in Washington, D.C. at the Bayou.
Some of them were, they grew up in Scotland, but their families moved.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
They moved to Australia when they were kids, but they all grew up in Australia. Good band, though. Yeah, they're still around. Still kicking ass. What happened to U2, man? Isn't U2 out there?
Zeppelin could really be on good drugs.
U2 got too political.
They started off political, so
yeah.
No, yeah, he was always pretty much, a woke SOB.
Isn't he like a puppet for UNICEF now?
Well, I don't know.
I know that they're the 5 richest guys in Ireland. It's actually the band manager and then the band members, and then they moved their base of operation to the Netherlands to avoid paying a 5% tax in Ireland.
Wow.
That would have went for all. That would have art. It would have went for art, like people, music, kids music programs, that type. So they avoided the 5%. And they're these
good for them. Good for them.
But then they're out there saying, "Oh, the AIDS babies in Africa." Ugh. But what about everybody? What about your old people in Ireland?
I'm with Amelia Bono. Is corrupt.
What the hell is 5%?
That's a 5% of anything that I don't get to choose where to spend is 5% too much.
And they're the filthy people who are saying, "Give your money away," right?
But YouTube was weird. YouTube was weird. They were a really political kind of radical group, and then they kind of went away for a year or two, and then they came back as a commercial group. They sold out whatever they did, and they just
that guy at the Edge is bald like a cue ball, man. One of my friends snatched the hat off his head at the Ritz back in the day, man. He's like one of the security guards snatched the hat off that dude. He's like, "I'm gonna go snatch his hat off."
Oh man,
those are good old days.
Well, if anyone's ever seen old, I don't know if it was Genesis or just Peter Gabriel on his own when he went solo, but there were times when Tony Levin, the bass player, would walk up to him. Then Peter Gabriel then had a what do you call it?
Toupee?
No, he had a like a Bob Ross mask or a wig, And then Tony Levin would walk over towards Peter Gabriel, and Peter Gabriel would grab the wig, and then Tony Levin would step away from him, and the wig would stay in his hand just to freak the crowd out.
That's back in the day when all the rich white musicians
being bald-headed. I can identify with that, and so can Tony Levin.
All the rich white musicians did the African thing. Remember that, man? Sting did it. Peter Gabriel did it. They all adopted the African sound. They didn't give them any money.
That's why, because
they just kind of took the music, dancing. Watch that Peter Gabriel video. I mean, he's got some great songs, but man,
they didn't do it until after Paul Simon did it. He did it first.
Yeah,
went off with the African sound, and it's a really good album too, by the way.
So let's talk about Germany and France kicking our ass first.
Oh yeah, it's on the. I'm so worried about that. France.
Oh yeah, you didn't hear about this, Sean? Oh, you're gonna love this. So, Trump said he wants Greenland, and if he had to use force, he would. Well, Germany and France got together and said they would not allow that. They would intervene. J.D. Vance goes, excuse me, intervene, and what are you talking about intervening and what? He said, do you realize the day you intervene, there would be no more NATO? You said that means you would be defenseless against Russia and China. He said, what are you talking about? And would you want to start a fight with us? You said, sure, bring it on if you think. Trump hasn't said anything about it. Germany has kind of backed off a little bit from it. What's his face? Ergon, whatever his name is. He's kind of doubled down on it. Not Ergon. What's his damn name? Anyway, the new guy. He's kind of doubled down on it. But the thing of it is, I just started laughing. I'm thinking, do you not realize we saved your asses twice?
They don't care. They don't care.
Oh, they better get the care.
I dated a French girl, man. They don't care. You know what? We had
how much Russia
about that shit.
Do you know how much Russia and China would love it if we got out of Europe?
They said they would have been free eventually, so they don't care that the United States came in with resources and troops and all that and helped out and you know what, liberated them from Nazi Germany.
Well, liberated them twice.
They don't care.
Twice.
They don't care.
World War I, World War II. World War I, World War II. But here's the funny thing. I'm with Joe. I was laughing too when I heard this news. But the reason I was laughing,
noise. It's noise.
It's noise too. But the reason I was laughing is I don't know if you guys remember back in the mad cow scare days, with the late 90s, whatever it was. The German chancellor, they were having such a disaster with the cow disease that the German chancellor got on the radio and he announced in German, of course, that we're going to kill 50,000 cows and see if we can't get ahead of this disease and stop it from hurting our food industry. Well, somehow the prime minister of France only heard part of that speech and all he heard was we're going to kill 50,000. So he immediately got on the red line to the German chancellor and said, we surrender right away. Don't kill 50,000. You don't have to hurt any of us. We surrender. You can take the country. No big deal. And that's legitimate. That actually happened way back in the 90s. And so if they're going to collapse that simply to a radio message that they're going to kill cows and it's misconstrued through translation or whatever, however it happened to the prime minister of France, and he surrenders to that, what's he going to do to us if we take over Greenland?
Well,
give me a break.
Why do the French grow trees on the side of the road?
I have no idea.
Germans like to march in the shade.
I didn't say that, people. No,
do you know?
Right to Michel Desrochers about that shit. I didn't say that.
Sean, do you know why the Germans took over France so easily in World War II?
Why?
Well, they marched in backwards and said we're on our way out.
Not touching that one either. That's right to Michelle about that. Yes. What's that? Oh yeah, Honduras said they were going to kick our ass if we try to take Panama Canal. Yes, that's.
Well,
I'm still laughing about that one.
Look at that. Thanks, Amelia.
Now,
is that
Suckerberg,
satire?
What?
I don't know. I hope not.
Wait, what are we reading?
Is that actual factual news or is it satire?
It's probably true.
Oh yeah, no, Zuckerberg. We call him Suckerberg now because he is sucking Elon Musk's asshole so tight now it's not even funny.
Replace the Z with the F.
Well, he said he said himself that we're following Elon's model of X on not just one thing but several things now.
He also basically he's also cutting all his DEI like funding at Facebook.
I don't know what DEI is.
DEI as well.
Divide, exclude. What's the? I don't.
It's basically putting
affirmative action. How about that?
It's so you have to have X amount of people, diverse people working in your organization.
Yeah, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. But it turns out it's like
it's forced affirmative action.
It's basically an anti-white mechanism to. I'll give you an example.
Wow.
This is a real world. These are real world statistics. So in 2021, I think S&P 100 companies hired 323,000 new jobs. Okay, of those new jobs, 5% of them were white males. White males make up over 30% of the population. So they discriminated deliberately against white males at a rate, it's 6 times the rate of what they represented in the population.
Is that because they get some type of kickback, like grants?
No, it's because it was the law.
No, it's because they're fucking evil. That's why.
It's the law. Well, the government said that the government came up with the diversity program.
How do you really feel about it?
No,
Sean?
but it's not the law. Actually, it is illegal. It was illegal for them to do that. Like bold-faced, black and white illegal. So, and then you have scumbags like Zuckerberg who are trying to act like it never happened. Hey, Zuckerberg, fuck you.
No, he said this. He's seen the error of his ways. Now, I'll tell you what actually happened. What's her face? His girlfriend, his wife, gave him back one of his balls so he can halfway function. And said, well, baby, you better suck up to Trump.
He's afraid of Trump.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's got to suck up to Trump, but he needs at least one ball to suck up to Trump.
No, he's got no balls. He never had any.
That's his girlfriend. Takes one, puts it back. Takes one, puts it back. She controls all of that.
The guy was the opposite of free speech, and now he's the biggest free speech component. Come on, people need to.
Well, but I listen to him. But Zuckerberg is scared, is what the problem is, and that's what happened to the guy who ran Twitter. He got scared. The FBI came in and said, "We're going to do this, this, and this." Now, Zuckerberg, come on, this was an idiot kid in college that accidentally stumbled over Facebook, who made him a billionaire.
Have you seen The Social Network? Have you seen that movie?
No.
That guy is a cold-blooded killer. He screwed over his friends. Oh yeah. He screwed over his best friend. He screwed him over, wrote him out of a contract, like Alberto Severin. And Alberto Severin, basically that's the guy who funded him initially. And then Zuckerberg just asked him, just sign this, it'll be fine. And basically the guy diluted his shares into nothingness while everybody else made billions. So the guy's a cold-blooded killer.
But he just took after Bill.
Yeah,
Bill stole Microsoft.
Bill's a stone-cold killer, too. He wants to give vaccines to help with depopulation. I don't understand. How do vaccines have anything to do with lowering the population?
Well, he's got to keep that over in India because we don't really like it.
Don't survive the vaccine, lower the population.
I thought he was banned from India. Is that not true?
No, last time I heard he was still over there doing stuff.
I thought he was banned because his so-called, vaccines or whatever were sterilizing women.
Oh, well, I don't know.
That sounds on brand. That sounds on brand.
It does sound on brand because they're definitely what did they used to call themselves back in the day? Oh man, they used to have a name for what they call themselves because they wanted to depopulate the planet. Oh man, I can't remember what it's called, and that's gonna drive me crazy.
Soil and
Come on, Joe.
No, it'll come in my brain sooner or
Green
later.
is cannibalism and
Soil and green.
Yes, that's cannibalism. That's
different altogether.
Tasty humans.
It's feeding people in a population after a population.
I did hear that certain states, I believe Iowa and Nebraska are a couple of them, that they actually do. I don't remember the name of what it's called, but they do liquefy dead corpses into a fertilizer that they will turn around and spray on certain crops.
My next cooking show is called Cooking with Humans. Yes.
No,
it's all about the sauce. The sauce, Jay. The
So
sauce.
we will have a show called Cooking with Humans with Klaus Schwab, and you will eat the bugs, and you will
With
live in your
Saucier Joe Montaldo.
and you will
No.
like it. It will be good.
No, they said no. He's still in India. He's still allowed to go to India. Yes, you love you long time in India. He's it's just sad. A lot of this stuff is sad. I mean, let's. I mean, there are 8 billion of us after a while, but we don't have to get rid of the population. We just have to expand out off of our planet.
And then when it's going to be?
We got lots of places to go.
How much longer is it till it doubles? It's like not very long, like 28.
No. It's most
It's like 150 years or something.
Most countries are in the process of decline right now, especially the first free world.
Yeah, America right now, I think we're right at like 1.1 to 1.75. I think there's 1.75 births, 1.5 in deaths. So we're real just kind of breaking even. A lot of countries are like that now. China's actually declined. I think they were like 5 or 6.
Yeah, they started declining in 2022. I think they started declining.
Yeah. I mean, we're still making positive gains in worldwide population, but not at the rate.
It's mostly in Africa, though. Africa's the one that's.
There's a lot of people who are deciding not to have children anymore because they think that this isn't the right world to bring children into, and they can't afford it, or they,
as long as they're progressive white females, 100%, good. I'm full. Like abortion, you want it, I'll pay for it. Just fine. Diversify yourself out of the gene pool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm kind of with that. Yeah, go ahead, have fun. Don't let it hit you in the ass. Jackie, What do you mean? We've done shows on lots of things, including abortion. We've done lots of years. Well,
don't get me wrong. I was anti-abortion until I saw this woke nightmare.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know what? If they want to murder their own children, like these far left white progressive females, I don't think
you guys realize the scope of it. Let me throw this up that I just found. I didn't think I would find anything this but wow.
Yeah, I think it's like I think they murdered like 40 million children since it started.
That's a lot. We did this on a couple of shows.
It's a lot from the screen, but let's just take a look at it real quick. Let's get it started up there. Where is it? Bam. Let me go back over there. All right, so the top one says among 47 reporting areas with data each year from 2013 to 2022. In just 2022, a total of 609,360 abortions were reported. The abortion rate was 11.2 abortions per 1,000 women.
Oh, I'm pulling up the big dog. I'm pulling up ChatGPT.
That's age 15 to 44 years, which gives a ratio of 199 abortions per 1,000 live births. Down here, this sounds even worse. In 2022, there were over 613,000 legal abortions in the U.S. Abortion rates in the U.S. are the highest among, and it stops there. I don't get that. In 2022, there were approximately 38 legal abortions per 100 live births.
So
38% dead.
So we killed more Americans since Roe v. Wade than Mao killed during the Cultural Revolution.
Wow.
63 million.
Yeah, it's a lot.
63 million.
That's more,
those numbers vary from different agencies.
That's approaching Antietam's level.
And no, that's far beyond Antietam, way beyond.
Is it?
Oh my God!
Gettysburg was 50,000. What was Antietam? I'm going to find Antietam.
The entire Civil War was like 300,000.
Yeah, but Antietam and Gettysburg were epic battles.
Which for back then was a lot of people because of how few people were actually in the country. But we know people back then. I think there was I don't even know if there was 1 billion people on the planet back then.
22,000. Well, 22,000 22,720 in a 3-day or 4-day battle. That's still quite a lot for primitive firearms.
Yeah, but it's not 63 million.
By the way,
that's more than World War II.
The United States has aborted more children than people died in World War II.
Yeah, so I was just saying that's more people than died in World War II. The problem with abortions is you don't know who you're killing. You could be killing the axe murderer, but you could be killing the cure for cancer, or the guy who invents faster than light travel. the guy who invents the replicator. I mean, you just don't know who the fuck
However,
you're killing.
now you're mostly killing progressive white female offspring.
Well, you know, that you know, I hate to say, doesn't hurt me as much. It's
I shouldn't be so spiteful, but this
Well,
whole weird thing just
she's
sets
got
me
a good point here. And it also, but there's also the rights of the child whose rights are nobody has, you know, spoken about those. There's also the rights of the father. If the father has the means and the wherewithal to give the child a happy life, and the mother wants nothing to do with it, you know, where are his rights if he wants to have that child?
okay.
Half of that's his child.
Here are the government institute and the government stats for 16, 17, 19, and 20. Number of abortions, 874,000, 862,000, 916,000, 930,000. Almost a million a year since 2016. That's fucking crazy. I mean, I don't give a fuck anybody says. That's fucking crazy.
Yep.
I mean, a million a year. I mean, what the fuck is going on? It goes back to they're using his birth control.
Yep.
And even if you go all the way back to 2010, it's still 700,000. I mean, we're just. I don't even know what to think about it. So that just means in the 25 years that since we've been in a new century, we've killed what, roughly 20 million babies?
No, well, no, I just had the number since 1973.
63, yeah, but I was just talking about since 20. Yes, I was just talking about since 2000, how many we've killed just in the last 25 years.
Oh, let's ask ChatGPT.
Yeah,
I wonder if they have an answer. What year?
I would say from 2000 to 2025. I would say around 20 million.
Well, 2024 because we just started. But
yeah, that's true. We 25 doesn't really count. 2020, 930,000 abortions.
Oh, it's given me. Of course, it had to give me the number per year. Unfortunately.
Yeah, well, if I'm going just by what I'm looking at right now, so you got 7, that's 1.4, that's 2 million, 3.2 million, 4.4 million, 5.6 million,
25 million.
Yeah, well, see, it's outrageous. We're at a stage now we're killing a bit. And think about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is only the United States we're talking about. We're not talking about worldwide. We're only talking about abortions in this country. That's crazy. A million a day worldwide, I'd be like, oh, okay, there's 8 billion of us. But there's only 350 million of us, and only half of them are women. And half of them can't even have babies. So we're talking about 70 million women are having 1 million babies a year.
So what are you going to do about it, Joe? What are you going to do
about it?
This is what you do about it right here. We always got the answer. So the famous sculptor, famous artist, Bocelli, known for his sculpting as being among the best of the artists, but with his mom being a Catholic, no way. And there we have it. Like Joe said, you might kill the famous, world-renowned artist.
That's a problem. We don't know what we're killing. We just don't.
You have no idea.
And the problem is these people don't care. And even if they're ignorant liberals, you still don't know what they might be killing. So it's hard.
And to be fair, it's not like
opera singer, not an artist. Well,
it's like one minority has I got my 10th abortion this month. Oh, I'm so yay me.
Yeah, well,
how do you feel about people who find out that the child is going to live a lifelong some type of debilitating disease because of whatever testing they had while she was pregnant, and she's still within her, first trimester or whatever. If they found out that she's carrying a certain chromosome or a certain gene that would likely make the child live unfavorable, painful, or not have a good quality of life, what would you say in that case?
Welcome to Iceland.
Greenland.
No. In Iceland, that's like there are no Down syndrome children because they abort them all.
Oh.
There are some reasons.
I was thinking about the artist, not the singer. I don't know who this new singer guy is, but
Well,
No.
there are going to be times when abortion should be had or should be allowed to have. There shouldn't be arguments about that. And frankly, you know, when people want to use them as birth control, I look at it as two ways. One, that's not my soul anyway. That's yours. You're screwing around with.
yeah,
Like
you have to live with that.
I said, but more importantly is there does need to be fathers' rights here, because if a father is willing to take the child and raise the child, the mother should have to give it. And the thing of it is, I always hear the same argument for this. Well, it's my body. Well, I agree that is your body, and
My
for
body,
8
my
months or
choice,
9 months, it's an inconvenience for you. But for the next 50 years, it's going to be an inconvenience to the father. So really, who the fuck you think's got it worse here? You're going to hang out for 8 or 9 months, get a couple stretch marks. This guy's going to have to be stressed out for the rest of his fucking life
Yeah.
because you
All
didn't
right,
want to
so
be a
here's-
mother and be responsible. No, that's bullshit. That's not even a good
Here's-
excuse anymore.
The joys of child rearing with Joe Montaldo.
Listen to these
50 years of
statistics.
Body
misery.
image is not even an excuse to commit murder. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean,
So
but the same argument could be also made that both parties, that whether they're going to have a child or not before they can even get pregnant, whether they are capable of, between the two of them, being responsible enough to raise a child. So I mean,
the government
isn't easy, and then there's no manual that anybody can give you that
you're talking about law.
Leah, don't be scared to
Talking
say
about
your
law.
opinion.
And the government
If-
has
if
the
the-
argument wrong, because the true argument, they say, well, it's not life, it's not murder, or whatever, has nothing to do with it. You are denying that person's existence. No matter what you think politically, whatever, you're
Right.
making sure that
Yeah.
they're not going to exist. It's not about murder or nothing. It's about denial. And then if you read all kinds of laws, denial of life and things like that, man, there's a lot to it. But they have the wrong argument. They're saying, you know, it doesn't have heartbeat, whatever. And what's life? Life is when it's in the beginning of creation, and that has beyond humans, beyond. We're physical beings, but really we're spirits, and we're spirits having a physical experience, you know. And then people try to like narrow it down into these stupid laws and whatever. And by the way, most of those abortions go to minority communities. So again, they're putting down black people, they're putting down others, you know, and they're trying to erase it. Black people around that, it used to be what, 16%, now it's like 12% of the United States.
Like Margaret Sanger was like a huge eugenicist, and she was a huge proponent of abortion for
She
exactly
also
that
made
reason.
the birth control pill.
Yeah, she also didn't like black people, and she was totally fine with them murdering.
Think
their
of
own
the
children.
outcome of all these laws and rules and whatever,
Yeah.
you know. And I believe in family planning. You know, the agency, you know, they do a lot of good, but also with the abortion stuff, whatever, they need to stay away from it. You know. And
Well, listen to this. Listen to these statistics. So, studies and reports indicate that nearly 100% of pregnancies in Iceland, where a prenatal diagnosis of Down syndrome is made, result in termination. So,
Wow.
in Sweden and Denmark, it exceeds 90%. In the United States, the termination rate varies, but is generally estimated to be around 67 to so 2/3 to 3/4 of couples will murder their own child if they have Down syndrome. In France and the UK, it ranges between 85 and 95%. Like, look, it's a tough decision to have a disabled child, right? Like, and trust me, I have 4 children, one of them is disabled, and it is a nightmare. But like, it's not my choice to, you know, to deny that life. It's just it's just sick. Can you imagine just like, oh, Down syndrome, let's murder this one? Like, it's just sick.
my mom used to work at a school and also homes for developmentally disabled, differently abled. A lot more kids, and then they started having homes for adults to go and live in regular neighborhoods, have a life, and that type of thing. And you wouldn't believe people that just kind of walk away from their kids. They have, you know, some kind of issue or whatever. They walk away, and you know, and it's abandonment, right? It's abandonment, you know, because the child, the spirit is the spirit. It doesn't matter how this comes out. You got this issue, that issue, whatever, man. We all have some issue. Everybody, you know.
If
some
it's
level.
spirit, what would you say about the possibility that, you're allowing that soul, that spirit, to not have to go through the pain and the tortures of living this life, but instead get a free pass, front row, front of the line, through the pearly gates, straight into heaven.
Is it pain and torture? I mean, the trials and tribulations of life, there's a lot of joy too. There's a lot of happiness, and there's also people having kids. You're denying them the passion and pleasure of the universe by saying, I don't want you. You're done or whatever. We're going to stop the process and abort you. I know people have had multiple abortions, and
maybe they're not suffering.
Look at the other side. John Edwards, psychic, says those energies are there. He said that they don't go away. Energy doesn't die. So I mean, there's a lot to it. But
what if they get transferred to a different dimension or realm or like reality where they don't have to experience a disability to such an extent? Say, like, what if they were?
I can't function on what if. I can't function on what if. I just have to function on what I know, and I know that denying someone life is denial of life, and it's that simple. It's that simple. It's actually a felony in the United States of America.
Yeah, I was going to say that the forensic or the medical term for death or murder is the forced cessation of life.
And our country is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
If you follow the science, though, as soon as that cell begins to split, that is the beginning of life.
It's a horrible gray area because
unfortunately
they're growing inside of another human being. You know what I mean? And that human also has rights. So and they've just politicized it to the point where it's just it's a mess. It's a huge mess, and then they keep using it. These politicians. Look at the ones who use it to their advantage.
And the statistics
I've seen a lot of
staggering than I thought when we talked about it just a few minutes ago. It's 33% black, 30% white, 26% Hispanic, 6% other. That's shocking. I think you would think it.
I've seen a lot of instances of single motherhood or broken homes, abusive homes, a lot of circumstances where children are being massively, gravely abused by their parents. Nobody's stepped in to stop them. Nobody tried to help or save them. If the parents had the opportunity to sit down and really determine, hey, would we be good parents? If that was a criteria for parenthood, more than half probably wouldn't have kids.
Yeah, that's why I said there should be, some sort of an aptitude test. If two completely inept people are going to try to have a child together, and that something horrible is going to happen to that child because they're inept, do you let them have a child?
I mean, I've witnessed with my own eyes. I've seen it. I've read stories. There's so many instances of seeing children in situations that they don't have a quality of life. They have, because, their parents probably should have never had them. They should have been taken away from them or put into some type of safer environment.
Yeah.
But they weren't.
But it's hard to detect those kind of things, It's so much of that stuff goes unreported.
A lot of it does, yeah.
I mean,
a lot of it gets swept under the rug.
Yeah, I mean, even Neely in the chat room brought up the fact that women who are raped should have the choice to have an abortion, and the same with incestuous situations and things like that. But there are other people who say no, that they have to have that child. I mean, there are so many.
I think it's up to the woman to make that choice. I would encourage her to have the child, but that's not my business. If someone's raped or that's one of the worst decisions you have to make.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not.
It's just a tough decision all the way around.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a good topic of debate. I can understand why people, use it as a legislative tool to
It's one of the
draw a
most
line.
It's one of the most heinous crimes in most prisons. They say there's no honor amongst thieves, but in most prisons, the first felons who are usually beaten up or killed in prison are usually child molesters, rapists, and those kind of dudes first, and it just goes on down the line from there.
Tell us more of your prison stories, Jay. I want to hear more. Tell us about the
Jeffrey Dahmer is a known cannibal, and he's pretty sure that he molested more than 20 underage children, men, and then ate them. And he was he was murdered in prison. I think 2 years into his sentence, he was there for life. But
Jeffrey Dahmer, man. Jeffrey Dahmer.
He was sodomized with a broken mop handle till he died.
Jeffrey Dahmer, his neighbors said they never see him buy groceries, only condiments. I'm like, oh boy.
Well, but I mean, I saw one of the first documentaries made on the man back in the 80s and or early 90s. I don't remember when, but somewhere that area. And it's just like every other serial murder you ever heard of. Everyone said the same thing about him. The nicest man you ever meet, never too busy to stop and say hi, never too busy to help you with it. If he saw you with groceries, he'd help you into your house or your apartment with him, that kind of thing. And no one would have suspected him of any of this kind of stuff. But when it came out, people were like, holy cow, unbelievable.
But the liberal argument would be like you're interfering with his culture, man. You can't stop the guy from being a cannibal. That's what he identifies as.
I mean, sweetbreads, if they're done correctly, what's his name? Hannibal Lecter swears by them.
That's it. The cookbook of Hannibal Lecter. Cooking for humans.
The cookbook is called To Serve Man. It's a cookbook.
No, The Simpsons, man. You see the Simpsons episode with the aliens. They thought they were going to eat them. And the book said cooking for humans, but then he dusted off and said cooking 40 humans. Yeah.
Okie dokie, man. You're being weird around here tonight.
Well, hey, so we do have about a few minutes. We can say
we got a few minutes.
Do you have some election breakdown videos? You said you had some that were quite.
Well, I don't. Well, no, they're all good. They'd be too long to talk. No, they'd be too long.
Those Trump dancing videos, man, where he's kind of.
Well, no, man. So we got. We'll probably do it next week. But so we've got a bunch of this stuff from the. We did election night. We were 5.5 million. This was a nice night for us, and it was a good, easy night for us since the numbers were ticking in Trump's way pretty much all night long. Mm-hmm. But watching the liberals on ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, and CBS. Oh my! I watched the Young Turks the other day. I watched
Obama's, his advisor. I can watch that guy cry all the time. He's always crying. He's like,
it was bad, man. I watched Lester Holt. He looked like he was about to put a gun to his head.
It was the one time Kamala Harris wasn't.
He looks all skinny and frail. Is he all right?
I don't know, but and then they kept going after this fantasy Iowa poll, like it was something real. I'm thinking, dude, there's no way Trump wins there by 18 points. There's no way that Harris is taking Iowa. It's just not going to fucking happen. Where y'all getting this from? And I was watching the Young Turks one the other night, and the guys, commentator, and he said, why does he keep bringing this up the whole show? Oh, but that seeing the poll showed that they might it's probably going to be a good night. It's going to be a good night. And then Georgia, after about an hour and a half, Georgia started staying red mostly, or we'll say pink.
Pennsylvania was the important part.
Yeah, well, no, the whole thing, the way it worked out, I mean, we already knew what state he was going to take. The show started out, and then all of a sudden he was at 26 electoral votes, and then he was at 126, and it wasn't even 10 o'clock, and he was at 2 something. I was like, son of a bitch, man. And they had just called Georgia for him. Well, they had just called Carolina for him, North Carolina. Then about an hour later, they called Georgia. And man, when you seen those 2 states come up as hard as they did, because he had a good lead in those states. It wasn't just like he won by 10 or 11,000 votes. I think Georgia won by 200,000 or something. So it was a commanding lead. And I told everybody from day one he was going to win Pennsylvania because he got shot in Pennsylvania. And that's a powerful image of him standing up with his fist up in the air after getting shot in your home state. There was no way he was going to lose Pennsylvania, so I pretty much gave him that one. I was pretty much sure he was going to take Nevada.
He's a shameless self-promoter. You have to respect the hell out of that. Right there.
Whatever happened to that Crooks guy? Like, they try, like nothing to see here. Move along. Where's outside Pence? Investigation going?
Where's Mike Pence right now? Is he in hiding?
No, he was at the thing. He was at the funeral. I mean,
was he there?
Oh yeah, he was there. He was there with his wife, and everybody's wife was there. Hillary looked like she's about to stab somebody. Harris.
Always.
So this is what was so funny. Kamala was sitting up front with her husband, blah 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 blah, and one saying and just kind of looking down with her sad little face. And Obama said something to Trump, but she thought it was to her, so she turned around to look, and of course he was talking to Trump. He opened a conversation with Trump, and they went back and forth for a little while there, about 10 minutes or so. Giggling and shit like little schoolgirls. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about, but they were talking. So Obama realized, look, Obama knows he's on the out right now.
What would they talk about? Like, think about those two guys. What would they even like the two?
I'll tell you what they were talking about. You want to know what they were talking about?
Opposites,
They were talking about that stupid bitch Kamala Harris. That's what they were talking about.
Hey, Trump, can I get a loan?
They said, Michelle's out of town right now.
They have a lot of money.
Well, Michelle Obama said she'll never be in the same room with Melania Trump, so I don't know how that's going to work out. But and she wasn't there today.
Represent.
She was off. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. Can JD Vance win in 2028?
That's for damn sure. I mean,
I think that's a bonus for Trump that she doesn't want to be in the same room with him. I would take that as a win right there.
Yeah.
She didn't say she didn't want to be in the same room with Trump. She said with Melania.
Trump's like,
just make sure you always have her with you. Then.
But Obama, I noticed the amount of people that have flocked him. The amount of people that have flocked to Trump this time around is amazing to me. The first time it was like a plague to mention the Pope.
It was a red wave.
The Pope will make it.
Who cares about the Pope?
He won't go see the Pope. He's like Pope.
It's like fuck the Pope.
Before we close out for the night, does anyone have anything to say about why is nobody talking about any of the orbs or like supposed drones anymore?
Orbs are fake. What else you got?
Crisis of
Orbs are an artifact of the digital era. Unless it's taken with emulsion film, they're bullshit.
The radioactive materials they lost.
I just like it was like all the hot rage for about a week and a half, and then it just died out. It fizzled out.
So here's a perfect
example. It still happens.
Yeah, but nobody's talking about it anymore.
Where is this at? So
Trump was with a bunch of governors the other like yesterday.
Did I close it out?
They were talking about it. Yeah, they were talking about it. And Trump said the 21st, he's like, I can't do it the first day, but then the second day I can do it. So he's going to apparently get to the bottom of it and tell the American people what it is. And then Governor Glenn Youngkin, I think it's Youngkin of Virginia, is like, yeah, they've been flying over Virginia for 2 years. We don't know what they are. But then there was the governor of Louisiana said, yeah, they're flying over one of my nuclear power plants.
It goes national.
We don't know what they are.
Out the window.
Yeah. And then somebody from Wyoming, governor of Wyoming, said something similar about
somebody's targeting our infrastructure and military bases. It's that simple.
That's NHI. It's clearly
the
NHI.
Chinese have bought land next to.
I'm with Shawn on this one.
You know,
it's clearly NHI. It's not the Chinese. It's not Chinese anti-gravity drones. It's not. If the Chinese are able to do this, they wouldn't unveil it for a light show.
They use balloons. They're more into the balloon technology.
Hey, didn't they have like a massive firework drone like blowout recently
they're
in
the best,
China?
They're the best at like commercial drones in the world. Like they're definitely.
But they had some.
And you want to know why they are? Because they use our
they got blown up.
They use our technology. Yes.
I never understood that. I never understood. So the guy invented this technology, gave it to the military, but he was a commercial guy, and he wanted to use it for doing displays, which is what it ended up being. They put it on the market as an open market thing, and of course, China didn't even have fucking drones at the time. The only country that even looked at a drone was Iran. And all of a sudden, China started building drones that can hang out together. Now
Gotta
they
give
get
them credit
massive
for
light shows and
their manufacturing ability.
But I have noticed, though, it's the quality of their manufacturing. They've been having problems with their drones. Falling out the sky, hitting people and
Because
shit.
it's China. It's junk.
Yeah. But still, it's
China
advanced.
makes
I mean,
junk.
it's very advanced
One
stuff. And
day
then China
they'll be
put out.
making junk. One day they'll be. I mean, Japan made junk too, and then all of a sudden,
China
But these
just put
things
out
aren't
a-
drones. They're UAPs. They're clearly UAPs. And this stuff always comes out when we get really close to nuclear war. And what
I
people don't
understand it was
realize,
the military, and they were looking for assets that were misplaced, and then that's
No.
what it was.
Well, I know this. I'll tell you this. So I've been over about 150 pictures now. Half or more are airplanes. I don't even know how they got
Yeah.
on the thing.
well, yeah, they could be one and both at the same time, right? But
Well, no, there's quite a few of them that are just. I mean, and when you look at them, you're kind of like, how the fuck you didn't know that was an airplane? And then there's some that are
People are
definitely some
paranoid,
type
too.
of drone, and then there's some that we don't know what the hell they are. And
yeah,
it's
that's
really
that's
that
the stuff
simple.
I'm talking about.
You know, and I would say that's probably about 20% of what's flying around. You know, why they're not flying all over the place, why they're flying in certain areas, it's anybody's best guess. But you know,
Well,
what's in
usually
those areas where they're
happened.
flying?
This happened in the 1950s when we were working on the hydrogen bomb and doing like lots of open air nuke tests. Like these things tend to show up. So what we did is recently we moved what are they called? B-61-12 nuclear gravity bombs to Lakenheath, UK. And as soon as we did that, the drones started showing up there. Before that, they were flying over Langley Air Force Base, and we couldn't get rid of them. So we had to relocate an F-33 squadron for a while before. And they just kept saying, "Oh, jurisdiction, they're drones, don't know, whatever." But totally safe, nothing to see here. Move along.
I don't know any base. I noticed no fucking drones don't fly over Navy bases. Because you know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to shoot it down or going to try to shoot it down. Matter of fact, I watched a New Jersey police officer yesterday with a semi-automatic AK-47 trying to shoot one out the sky. You see him at the pop, 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 pop.
Fly some of those drones over restricted airspace. See how long they stay up in the air.
Well,
No,
you
they
see,
have.
the thing of it is,
They have.
FCC
And
says
nothing's
all the
happened.
drones. They're saying there's FCC says there's actually registered drones flying in the areas. He said there wouldn't be lights on with their green and red lights on if they weren't registered drones flying in the areas, probably with flight plans. So some of this is definitely either commercial or military.
Oh yeah,
Would
some
any-
of it is. Some of it
would
is, but
Would any of the UFO, like NHI, have the ability to emulate a drone with the red and
Of
green
course.
lights to blend in?
Sure.
What,
Oh, yeah.
like, you know,
Of
like
course.
camouflage themselves?
Yeah,
but if they're real ET craft, they got stealth. They fly all over our planet. We never see them. So only way you see an ET craft. There's only two ways you can see an ET craft. One,
they want you
if
to
you
see it,
happen
right?
to be a contactee, and two, if for some reason it decides to turn off whatever ability it has to keep itself covered up from you. Other than that, you're not going to see one. There's no reason. I mean, if people knew how many of these fucking things were flying around in our skies right now, they would shit. And it have been for a long time. It's not even like it's something. Matter of fact, if you ever look at Larry Hatch's map, it goes from 1944 to 2005. And you can watch them as they stack up and the sightings increase and the sightings increase. They have regular flight paths between the United States and Europe, between Europe and Asia, between Europe and South Asia. And I mean, they're just normal. I mean, you can see it's just like any flight plan, like one of our planes would take. They're just regularly flying through these areas. And there's lots of them. I mean, they're being seen at sea all the damn time. Every Navy pilot I've ever met seen UFOs. Every one of them. There's not one I met that hadn't seen more than one. I mean, it's something. And he says the same thing. He said, you'll be cruising along, there's nothing in the sky. All of a sudden, a green or blue light will just get really bright. And it's just sitting there. And you're like, what the fuck is this? And it's just sitting there, and you're on the comm. Nobody can hear you because nobody's going, nothing's getting through. You know, your wingman will be watching whatever this is, and y'all are cruising, and you try to speed up, you try to veer away. You're not going to shoot at it because you don't have permission to shoot, even though I think a couple have over the years. But I mean, So many pilots. And that's one of the things that got me into this field. When I was on board in Nimitz, sitting in the line shack, talking with pilots while we were waiting on stuff for the aircraft to be done, they would be telling you about these stories about shit. The one guy I was talking about, he said, this blue light popped out of nowhere, sat inside my craft, just kind of lagged behind me. And I thought, okay, it's going away. And then all of a sudden I seen it coming. It zipped so fast when it went on, it actually lifted my craft from the wind going underneath it, the pressure. So it lifted me up higher. He said, and then it stopped right in front of me, right in front of my canopy, and yet I wasn't hitting it. He said I was running Mach 1.5, and this thing going backwards now at 1.55, just staying right in front of me. He said, any move I move, it made. He said it was almost like it was attached to me because when I responded, it responded. He said a lot of times as I was responding, it was responding like it was reading my mind. I said, of course it was. But, you know, after hearing so many pilots and then going to the bombing derbies and talking with the Air Force pilots and they're telling you they're seeing, the Air Force pilots don't see them as much for some reason. I'm not sure why, but
they're paid not to.
You know, well, Navy pilots will tell you, we're all told the same thing. Report it and don't talk about it. Mm-hmm. That's rule one. Doesn't matter what you're doing, who you are, what level pay you are, what grade you are, what rank you are. Report it and move on. Don't talk about it with anybody else. Just move on. It's like it never happened. After you report it, it doesn't exist. And they just want to know because they're collecting data just like the rest of us. But most people, especially pilots, wouldn't report it.
Yeah, because if the information wasn't of any importance, it wouldn't go up the chain of command. It would go down the chain of command. But instead, it goes all the way up to the top and disappears.
Maybe aliens are in charge and we just don't know it. No,
yeah, I think they are.
Really don't. I think they are, actually. Given how effed up the people
the Kardashians, man, they're aliens, I'm telling you.
They're lizard people, lizard shapeshifters,
like that. Big-butted aliens, oh man. Now, why can't we get aliens like they had in The Fifth Element? I like aliens like that.
Oh yeah,
that's an alien I can live with. I said, yes, alien, come, bring your friends with you too. Bring lots of friends. You've never seen The Fifth Element, Christopher? Well, I don't know what to tell you. Go watch it. It's before Bruce Willis lost his mind.
Literally,
yes. Go watch it. It's a space. It's kind of a comedy. It's a space comedy, is what it is. Yes. Oh, I can't remember her name. All I remember is she's Hottie Patati. She's in a lot of other stuff, but for some reason,
Mila Jovovich.
Let's see. Look, Michael knew right who the hell she was.
I was trying to recall it.
Resident Evil, man. Come on.
Yep.
Oh man.
By the way,
Ultraviolet.
She's a horrible movie. No, Ultraviolet is Beckinsale.
Oh, it was?
Kate Beckinsale's Ultraviolet.
Oh.
What's it? I don't know, Jack. These people are geeks. I don't know what to tell you about that. No, we're getting ready. No, we were going to put some of the images up, but you know what? I'm sure y'all getting bombarded by images of Los Angeles burning to the ground. It's not actually L.A. It's like around L.A.
It's the outskirts, yeah.
No, it's not. It is Mila Jovovich right there.
Mila Jovovich, yeah. She's from Fifth Element.
Well, you said that it was Kate Beckinsale, but it's not. It's Mila.
It's because one of them does one horror set of movies, and the other one is
kick his ass, Leah. Kick his ass.
Ultraviolet. You're thinking Underworld.
Yes, Underworld was Kate Beckinsale. It's werewolves versus zombies or whatever.
Yeah, vampires.
Vampires. Shame on you. Damn, shame on Jay, man. That's a. I'm gonna have to call.
They're horrible movies. I mean, the one.
I'm to call Jeffrey.
He's got Star Trek, man. You got to reference Star Trek.
I know. Denise, we're gonna go about another 5 or 6
Final
months.
Frontier. Captain Kirk. Porks.
I don't know. I was going to read off. Trump posted his 100 things he's going to do. His first 100 executive orders. Most of them have to deal with. I don't have it anymore. I posted it. No, it's up. Y'all have to pull it back up.
Is there going to be anything done with the federal minimum wage? Is there ever going to be a across the board?
They're going to fire all those people.
Yeah, you can't do it. It's got to go by state. Because the poverty is different in every state.
The Doge, and then what they call him, the Doge. The Doge is going to fire all them people.
Well, they're not going to have to fire them. All they got to do is say, "Come back to the office."
Well, a lot of them, yeah, that's about a third of them are going to get stuck out. No, they say that the federal government's employment is about half of twice what it should be. So they want to get rid of half the federal employees.
They're firing a lot of people, man.
First thing they want to do is fire 90,000 IRS people.
Awesome.
Those are the ones
they really need to do is move those agencies,
and weren't supposed to.
They need to move those agencies in D.C. all around the country. And Roosevelt did that, and he was very successful because he broke up that cabal. You know what I mean? And just shifted jobs in other places. It was a whole. You know what? It's good to shake things up. It's good to shake things up sometimes, man. But D.C. it's a swamp. We gotta drain the swamp. Man.
Yes, and he looks like he's going to do a good job draining the swamp. I mean, a lot of what I saw was, of course, had to do with immigration, getting gas prices down, opening up the pipelines. Generally, so somebody said, oh, he's always saying that he don't know if he can get food prices down. Get fuel prices down, food prices will come down.
Yep, exactly right.
I mean, get diesel from $7 a gallon to $3 a gallon. Watch how much food comes down. So, I mean, that'll go on. There's other ways he's going to get it too that'll help. I would see, but I've already seen a 20-cent decrease in gas just since he won, and about a 5% decrease in food prices. So, I mean, they're still outrageous.
Gas increasing slightly and diesel increasing slightly does not demand the price increases that came from food when things went double and triple. Those ingredients didn't sky high.
See, the problem for like us was we were paying $1.50 for gas, so that kept food pretty cheap. But then all of a sudden we were paying $3.50 for gas.
These companies have a license to steal. They do it because you have to pay it. What are you doing? You're not eat. You know what I mean? They
we have to grow our own food.
Yeah.
There's no consumer protection agency to protect us from.
Well, no, it's because there's not just a middleman anymore. There's like 10 middlemen. So there's the grower and then all the bullshit in between, then the final place where you buy it from. Not like in the old days where you went and bought it from the farm. Oh, and this guy right here purchased it and he sold it to the grocery store.
I do buy from the farm. And the guy uses horses. Hey, he grows his own stuff and his prices went up threefold. So, yeah.
Yeah, because everything he had to buy to keep that food going went up.
No, he grows the hay there. He's got all this stuff, man.
Self-sustainable.
The whole farm. They have
biodynamic.
They got a couple giraffes.
I'll grow in about 3 weeks. I'll put down most of my seeds. So I'll grow. I grow a pretty big vegetable garden.
Tomatoes.
I'll grow a lot. I buy usually 5.
You want to live?
I usually grow 5 different varieties of tomatoes, at least 3 bushes of each variety.
I have a green thumb.
I have peppers and cucumbers,
habaneros,
and carrots and chard and all kind of good other vegetables, and then I'll have a couple of different kind of herbs from your garden are so much more intense. You just need so much less of it than you normally do. It's just so much more intense.
It's the best. It tastes the best.
But I like growing some of my own stuff.
I don't know if nutrients. I don't know if it still exists, but there was this farm at least in Northern California in a tiny little town called Covelo, and it was called Live Power Farm, and it was self-sustainable. It was technically biodynamic, and everything that they needed for the farm, the fertilizers, everything, they produced themselves. Even like the straw and the hay that the animals would eat. They had goats, they had sheep, they had horses, they had cows, chickens, and it was an 80-acre farm. They farmed on 40 of the acres and let 40 acres go wild and stay like natural indigenous plants. And they had an orchard, they had an herb garden, and we farmed with no tractors. I mean, they had a combine, but everything else was horse tilled or hand tilled. It was a lot of work, but it was also very rewarding. And I would recommend anyone that has even just a windowsill to put a planter box to grow some cilantro, grow some basil, grow a house plant, anything. But definitely try something edible.
My sister owns a farm, man. She grows a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
goes to farmers markets, does the whole thing.
If I wasn't lazy, I could grow a bunch, but we're not going to eat that because a few years I had a big garden in Louisiana. When we first moved up here, I had a big. I had so much stuff I couldn't even give it away. There's times I go into the city with like 2 baskets full of tomatoes. So here, y'all help yourselves. And Sam was getting freaking almost 100 eggs a day. I was like, it was insane. So if we wanted, see, it's nice where we live right now. Between where we're at and Sam's, that we can be totally self-sufficient because I can walk out my backyard. I can catch catfish, I can catch redfish, I can catch speckled trout. And when the water's high from the rivers, I can catch a variety of freshwater fish. Also, I have my pods out there, which I can throw in water. I catch some of the prettiest blue crabs that you've ever seen. And 4 or 5 times a year, I can actually shrimp off my dock.
Has the quality of the water decreased at all?
Not where I live. It's beautiful here. But they're real strict about that. People don't realize that. Like they closed the oyster harvest down for 5 years to let the water quality get back to where it's supposed to be.
Aren't oysters like the natural filtration system?
So if oysters show anything in it, they'll close it down until they get back to where they're supposed to be, which sucks because it makes them expensive because you got to get them other places. But still, they do all of that. They limit your redfish sizes and limits what you can take. They do it with the speckled trout. Specks are fabulous. If we catch them, we actually catch them in the backyard, have them in the frying pan probably within 15 minutes. And they are delicious. They're just, and you get nice big monster reds here.
You're very primitive, man. I use Instacart personally. You know what I mean? Like I just push.
It's not the same flavors though. You're just not going to get the same flavor.
To the door.
That blue crab you catch out in that bayou, you put it in the coil.
I can buy locally, man. I can go to any store on Instacart.
It's still not the same.
Lowe's and Home Depot.
It's not the same as catching your own bushel of crab and
catching it out in the backyard and having it in a broiler or a boiler within 15 or 20 minutes. It's just
that's
not
when
the same.
That's back in the day.
You know, anywhere else.
Privilege.
That's why it's so hard when we travel because places use such bland seafood or anything for that matter. Steaks.
From Long Island, man. It was the king of seafood. I don't eat seafood, so to me, there's
and Yankees eat seafood everywhere like everybody else does. Like steamed and nasty. Steamed seafood is nasty.
Every chemical that could be is in crabs and lobster and shrimp and
That's why you got to know where it's coming from.
The consistency of what they eat. Jewish people.
That's why you got to know where it's coming from.
Crustaceans, but a lot of them do.
I know people that don't because they think they're giant bugs and they don't like the idea of eating bugs.
Well, mud bugs, right, are crawdaddies. They're called mud bugs.
So I can't speak for every state, but for the southern states, you can find out. So we get water quality things that come in. They send them to us to tell us what the bayous are like, what the Gulf is like, if there's places you shouldn't be fishing, how clean the water is in different places, what fishes are heavy. And what
That's
places.
your DEC, hard at work.
They make sure. Well, they want to make sure because up north there's a lot of problems with lead in the water. We don't have that problem down here, but a lot of places up north have problems with lead in the water. And there's other chemicals that get in, and we have other plants down here that can put chemicals in the water, especially petroleum.
And the Gulf gets your oil spills, and every now and then
you get oil spills. So they have to keep up on it, and they do. They're religious about it, and they will close something down. They don't give a shit who it's going to hurt. They will close it down in a fucking heartbeat. They're like, too bad, so effing sad. Y'all ain't getting a fish here this year. And then this is what's so funny. So they catch the shrimp right out in the Gulf here, and all the restaurants buy the local shrimp because it's so much better and it's fresher. Well, come to find out, a lot of them have been buying overseas shrimp because it's cheaper and saying it's Gulf shrimp. Well, they got their asses. That's big time shit down here, man.
Yeah, that's against the law.
Yeah, some of these restaurants are going to lose their license and shit. They're like, you can't do that. They caught one company doing it with fish, with certain types of fish. But it's sad that this shit's caught not 10 miles from where their restaurant is, and it's cheaper to get something that came from China. That's because I can get local Gulf shrimp. It costs me, if I want like a 20-30 count, it's about $2.25 a pound. If I want say a 15 count or a 20 count, it's gonna be about $5 a pound. And you get the nice big long prongs like that. I mean, they're great and they're fresh as hell. We don't normally pay a lot for sugar.
Think about where things come from, man. You know, most apple juice in the United States comes from China. And the apples they use aren't even sweet, so they have to add sugar, and it's so-called all natural because it's so-called natural.
Well, sugar's
There's
natural.
only like 2 brands, American brands, that actually make apple juice in a country that produces a lot of apples. It's crazy, right? I buy all local, man. Local places, local.
I do, but we shop, but mostly down here it's all local anyway. Like
my mom raised me with the idea that your food should only have one ingredient. So I mean, there's local farms here I deal with. They've got chicken, beef, whatever the hell you want.
Well, all the beef in Mississippi is all the beef, chicken, pork, and seafood are all local because there's an abundance in the state, and there is in Louisiana and Texas.
Local stuff, grass fed, grass finished. If you're into that type of thing.
No, we get some grass fed, but we get some. See, I like that Black Angus that's fed on that molasses mix. Oh, that shit is freaking fabulous.
The Amish around here would hook you up, man.
Yeah, they got good butter stuff like that. I've gotten some stuff from them too. No, Marcus, we're getting ready to go. What you got? One question. What is? Where are you from, Marcus?
We have 100 vineyards in the Finger Lakes, man. So
how old
you get wine, cheese,
Marcus?
And what more do you need?
Yeah.
We got a couple distilleries now.
You had me at cheese.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So is it snowing there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? Well, it's not snowing here. It was raining.
It's snowing. It was snowing in Arkansas.
Do we as a group think Trump is going to do a good job? I think he's going to do okay.
I think he did a good job when he was in there.
I think he's already done a better job than Joe has in the last year, just in the last 10 days.
He needs to unite the country. He needs to unite the country, put the bullcrap aside, get rid of these woke people, the DEI people. I mean, really, it's racist policy. It's segregationist policy.
Well, he's kicking wokeness to the curb, so that's going to go away to the
corporations.
While we're on this, before we go, real quick. So the Colorado governor said they're going to fight Trump about kicking people out the state. So the Chicago mayor the other day goes, "Well, we will arrest any ICE police that try to arrest an immigrant." Okay, first off, I don't know what local sheriffs you're going to get to try to arrest ICE police. I mean, first of all, ICE police are usually a little bit meaner than your local sheriff.
You're going to get a lot of friendly fire incidents.
Plus, they're going to have National Guard working with them and the Rangers.
No sheriff will cooperate. The sheriff, I'll tell you about sheriffs, man. They're voted in by the people. They are totally different than any law enforcement you would think. I ran for sheriff 20 years ago in Tompkins County, New York. I know a lot about it from doing it. Like just the process and really, but they have so much power that if they're corrupt, it's nearly impossible to get rid of.
Yeah, but as the guy who runs the sheriff, as the head sheriff, are you going to butt heads with Donald Trump and ICE? Because this other guy's already said, I will put anybody in jail who tries to keep us from removing immigrants.
A mayor can use city police, but they and a governor can utilize other resources, state police and National Guard,
but not to go against a federal mandate. He can't. That's illegal.
Right. You can't go against the federal Constitution supersedes all other constitutions.
It does. The federal mandate it supersedes everything else. So they're already saying, look, we're coming to get them. We're going to throw them out the country. So here, I mean, what's his face? I can't remember his name now. The guy Trump. He already said he'll put the Colorado governor in jail. He said,
that guy's no joke, man. I hope he's not all talk. I hope he goes.
I hope he's not either. I mean, he sounds like he said he'll put. If you get in our way, you will go to jail.
He seems very motivated.
I don't think he means business on that.
I think he's serious about it because the law's on his side. As long as the law's on his side, I think that's what's going to happen. Jeannie, we're getting ready to go. We got to go. We're already 22 minutes past. Sean's going to turn into a pumpkin, man.
Yeah, it's my bedtime. That's past my bedtime.
Well, you're on the same time I am. You're on Central Time, but Sean's out there on West Coast time, man.
I got all y'all beat.
He's wide awake.
I got up at 5 o'clock this morning, 5:30 this morning, and it's now 1 o'clock, 1:30 a.m. Eastern time.
I never get to sleep.
It's 1:23 over here. I thought we were both Eastern time.
Yes, last I checked, y'all.
Is it 1:30 there in Pennsylvania? Man, something's really messed up with that.
It's a little 3-minute time. The time gap going on.
I rounded up.
Before we go,
enough.
Tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening on the chat. Shawn, you're welcome by if you want. It's just a new weird show.
Yeah, come on, join.
We're gonna be talking alien. At least half the show is gonna be alien stuff. Well, there's some new stuff that came out from the government. A few friends of mine have leaked some stuff that I'm interested in talking about that's been going on as well. And of course, there's always Elon Musk and his plans to bring us to Mars. And I'm telling you guys, I love Elon, but he's Drax.
He's gonna Drax.
I don't care. He is Drax. I love Elon. I think he's great. He is fucking Drax.
They couldn't have like.
I'm just waiting to see Jaws come walking up behind him or something, man. I'm telling you.
If Richard Keel comes into the scene, I'm turning the television
He's even
off.
got the same affect as that Drax guy.
I mean, the man's brilliant. He's done all kinds of stuff. I mean, he's got his company. He's even going to be paying for experimental medicine.
Roku comes back on. We're allowed. Oh, never mind. It went back off.
Wait, how did it change from Church of Mavis to News on the Flip Side all of a sudden?
I did that. We forgot to do that. It was like that the whole time. I didn't know until like 10 minutes ago.
Yes, we're giving Jeffrey some free advertisement because we love his skinny ass. It's Sarah Jane. From Doctor Who. Sarah Jane. All right, one quick question. What do you got? Where are you from? Oh, you from London? What is it like?
5 hours.
Oh, it's 6:30. It's 6:24 a.m. Well, good morning. 6:24 a.m. in England. Yeah, I know you're 6 hours ahead of me.
What part of England? I love you.
She said London. Yeah, she said London.
London.
She said downtown.
Where they're not allowed to speak freely.
It looks like Little Arabia.
Oh yeah, well, that's part of her question. Actually, she said, "Do you think will Donald Trump be able to force the UK and back into normal free speech? Because there's rules like for Facebook's got to have special rules over there now.
Yeah, they arrest
special
people
rules
for
for the fucking EU now. So so I don't know. So right now you got that Chinooga as your prime minister. I don't maybe Trump can force a conservative in there. I don't know. Well, y'all had some good luck with your last two conservatives. I mean, they were both pretty good. Liberals, well, you had the Indian guy who was the Indian Muslim guy. I'm sorry, so that must have been Pakistani or something. But anyway, he was an idiot, but he was just the mayor of London.
Got Prince William there, man, who wants to take over and do all these things. He sees a different vision for the UK.
Well, you see now that Michael's talking about. Do you ever do you like Prince Harry?
I thought he was like
Harry.
I thought he became like Americanized or something.
He was fun when he was naked falling into the pool in Las Vegas. You know what I mean? Like,
I got 2 words. Do y'all know what they were? They gave me 2 words when I asked them if they liked Harry. Just 2 words.
F-O? No.
Fuck Harry is what it said.
Fuck him, yeah.
Why? Because he owned his family.
Royal family
because he's the most visible and famous.
Well, because he's probably not Charles's kid. He's
the
probably
biggest cuck on the planet Earth. I don't think you can find a bigger one. You know what I mean? I mean, like
first, he's still got all his hair. So
embarrassing. I mean, the way he lets that woman run him and destroy his relationship.
You got the hots for Meghan Markle. Don't lie, Michael. You got the hots for Meghan. You're not nasty.
Oh God, she's not my type, man.
She's a skanky bitch. That's why.
She is the worst. She is the worst.
She's
I like crazy
bitch.
women, but they all are.
And the encyclopedia should say her name with skanky bitch
no
next
women
to
are
it.
crazy.
All right, that's my
poor Leah.
Men love crazy women.
I'm gonna skedaddle.
If you could, I see you, sweetie. Anyway, guys, because we're getting ready to get out of here. That's Leah. She's jumping for the boat.
I want to see Harry's real father come forward and finally say, "Yeah, he's my kid."
Yeah, he looks a lot like that guy. That's some fucking shit there.
They look identical.
They do. They look like Bob's.
They got the same.
Yeah, he was Princess
Diana's.
He was Princess Diana's riding instructor, and
that's right. She was teaching you how to ride, baby. Ride. You can't ride no more.
They dated, but their argument is that they dated beforehand.
I think while they were married,
they were together for a long time. They were around each other for a long time.
Well,
and they
what's
knew
his
each
name
other.
was Charles was fucking around, so Diana.
Come
Anyway,
out.
somebody was fucking around, so the other one
Michelle
said,
Obama should
"Let's
come out
fuck
and say,
around."
"Yeah, I'm a trans." You know what I mean? And then Harry would come out, "Yeah, that's my father." I just want to hear the truth for a
Big
while.
Mike.
Just give me 10 minutes of truth.
Michael Obama.
Just a stream of 10 minutes. I know where JFK is buried. Not JFK.
Yeah, so
who's
do
the other
I.
dude,
He's right
man?
across the street in Washington, D.C.
Not JFK. The other idiot.
What other idiot?
Jimmy Hoffa.
Who was Barry Soetoro?
He wasn't buried. Dude,
I do know where Jimmy Hoffa is buried.
They didn't bury him. They took him to the Cleveland Alpo.
I know where he's buried. I can
Cleveland
prove it, man.
Processing.
It was two fat mafia guys talking to each other in a bar, and I was sitting there, and they didn't even fucking think I was paying attention. And the guy was laughing because they buried him on the 50-yard line in Giant Stadium. No, they buried him on the 50-yard line. Do your history. They were building Giant Stadium when that guy disappeared. They buried him because the guy who killed him, the mafia guy who killed him, wanted to see them huddle and get every time they see a football game, they knew he was doing that over his dead body, and they would laugh their asses off. And that's how zany mafia guys are.
No, that's been debunked because they've had to replace.
They never.
He was put in the meat grinding processing plants at Purina's Alpo plant in Cleveland, Ohio. Nope. Never found.
I'm telling you, man. I know.
Us Southerners and West Coasters like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
50-yard line.
What do you mean? Who is Barry Soetoro? I don't know who's Barry Soetoro.
It's Obama. Barry.
I've never heard of Barry Soetoro.
That was his name.
Yeah.
His mother was
Barry.
Married to Soetoro, and then got married to Obama. I don't know which order it was, but
yes. Well, I know he got Obama from his daddy because his daddy was
his father was African.
Right.
Here in America, going to college.
But
he flunked out of school and he couldn't afford to stay, so he went back to Africa.
But I think Soetoro was
Barry
Indonesian.
Soetoro for a while.
But Obama grew up.
They tried to make it stick.
Obama
was just like, fuck you, call.
He said that's where the gentle religion of Islam comes together with democracy. I've never heard of such
it's a religion
insanity
of peace.
in all my life.
Yeah,
we should have called him Barry Obama.
Yeah,
that's what we should have called him, Barry Obama.
Islam and democracy. I mean, think about those two things.
Very compatible. Perfectly compatible.
Denise Defy in Brooklyn sounded like it was at a park or something. A block in the park or something. That's what it sounded. It's. I think I posted it to one of the sites.
Well, everybody says he wasn't born in the U.S. His own brother said he wasn't born in the U.S. And the doctor who delivered him said, there's no, there's no black babies being born to white women here. So he remembered, he exactly remembered Obama's mom, the whole thing. So, I mean, but who cares? You can't do anything.
Well, what was it? Kenya said they had this birth certificate. That's where this all started over.
And, Michelle Obama said a couple of times, when he goes back to his hometown in Africa, oops.
Yeah, well, he said that
let me ask you this. Why would he avoid giving a birth certificate all that time, all those years? Here's the thing. Shut up. You know what I mean? I got mine sitting 10 feet away.
You should have to prove that. I mean, for every other job, you have to show birth certificate.
A doctor friend of his gave him a live birth certificate when he was president, I think into the second term, just to quell. But that's not the same thing. Whatever, man. But just tell the truth. Say, I wasn't born here when I was president. So you're all suckers. Who's gonna care? What are you gonna do? Like go after him? Oh yeah, we're gonna sue him or whatever. No.
Yeah. No, you're gonna put him in prison. That's what you're gonna do.
Prison for treason.
Damn sure.
But the next thing, everything he did in his 8 years of his term, all that gets canceled and reversed immediately.
But the rules aren't ours. The rules are theirs. We have to live by those rules. That's the deal. It's been robber barons and for how long? For how always the person with the whip is in control. Always, man. So, you can live how you want to live. You want to live like that? That's how you live. You work in white collar America, you can't say a goddamn thing that's on your mind. You know what I mean? You can't speak your mind. You can't come out with your ideas or values. No. Hell no.
Yeah, I
They'll
mean,
take your
who's
life
going to
away
listen? Are they going to care? Can they do anything about it? Will they?
They can
And the
fire
answer
your
is
ass
no.
if your values don't go along with the company's
Right.
values.
More than likely,
And they have lots of videos telling you that.
And enhance, that's why they hate people like us. Because we're out there talking about it, and another million of us are out there talking about it, and it makes it hard to cover that kind of shit up.
Even if the other million aren't talking about it, at least they're listening to us, and maybe.
But I mean, I'm not. I mean, there's what, I don't know. It's 25 million podcasts now. It's an outrageous number, and so a good chunk of them are going to be talking about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just now, and when something big comes out, everybody's jumping on it. So it's hard to cover that up now. I mean, it's just hard. And now with both X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and Facebook and Instagram saying, okay, feel free to post, that makes it way the fuck harder to cover something up.
Woke is broke.
Because now they're telling the FBI. See, that's what I guarantee you part of the problem is your boy from X was a big boss. I have no doubt when the FBI contacted him, he just folded, just folded. And it sounds like Zuckerberg's just another big puss. He just folded. He's like, I'm not going to fight with the FBI over this. It's because as far as he's concerned, even though he's worth $25-30 billion, he figured he couldn't beat the FBI.
What were they going to do to him?
Elon thinks
what law did he break? What were they going to do to him?
But he didn't know.
You find me the man, and I will find you the crime.
And that's pretty much what was going to go down. I mean, look what they did to Trump. I mean, Trump had money and power, and still look what they did to him.
Yeah, he fought them and he won. He whipped their asses.
About
I mean,
today because they didn't do anything. The judge just said, "Okay, I'm sentencing you, but there's not going to be any punishment."
He's a felon and he's president. So good, so good.
34
but he's a
times
fake
over.
felon. But he's
Hillary cheated and she lost. So good. You know what I mean? Like you have to think about the people who I don't know. You are what you do when you go that direction in life, and
you are what you eat.
I think that in Trump, you know what? The whole birth certificate thing, people dismiss it, but he's the one who said that. They were wiretapping him, and he was the one who was right about it.
Everything Trump said originally about the 2016 election turned out to be true.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So
Suckerberg don't want to mess with me. I'd just bitch slap him in the next one. He'd have to go hire some big boys to come. And if he did, I'd send all my Bayou friends.
I want to see he and Elon Musk battle, man. They talk.
How about this battle?
Elon will little X will take out Zuckerberg.
Elon would bite the guy's ear off. He would bite Zuckerberg's ear off. That's the only thing billionaires have left, man. They already bought everything. They own the best land. They own the best stuff. They get the best women. They may as well bite someone's ear off. You know what I mean? Like, what else? What the hell else do you have left?
At least the man did something. Okay, he could have left it the way he was.
Zuckerberg doesn't have space. He's got Facebook.
Yeah, but Elon. You know what? Zuckerberg might get into space. It sounds like he might get into Tesla.
They should shoot all of them into space.
It sounds like Zuckerberg wants to be more of a. He's watching Elon. Elon's out there. Elon is Tony Stark. That's what Elon is.
Yeah,
he's out there. He's even got a giant Iron Man in his fucking warehouse. That's who he thinks he is. He thinks he's Tony Stark. He's out there. He's doing good for his people. I mean, he found that some employees had a big problem, so now he made his company say, "Okay, we pay for experimental medicine now." So if you have health insurance with his company, any of his companies, they pay for experimental stuff now.
Good for him.
He said, and plus they gave everybody a giant raise. I mean, he sounds like the guy, every time I think.
Well, let's be honest. He does not take good care of his people. He definitely does.
Well, no, actually, now he does. He's got the #1 health plan in the United States now.
If just talk to someone who's worked for one of his companies, trust me. He's like double the average. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, because he works you like a slave.
Oh yeah, they don't deny that. Everybody I've ever talked to said he works the shit out of you. But everybody tells me they got excellent benefits, excellent pay. They get out.
Yeah, it's because they burn you out. They burn people out.
He also said that the average person can get up to 3 months a year off of vacation time. not including other times. So he said you can find yourself with almost 4 months off a year working for them. He said because that is their thing. They tell you in the beginning you will probably burn out after so long. You need to take time off. They actually talk about that. It's one of the things. His company. So I don't know what happened. He says this himself. He said I was the worst fucking boss ever. This is his own words, by the way. And he ran in. He was at work one day doing something, and he seen a post come across the HR thing. If you have any extra food, could you let me know? And he was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" So he contacted HR. I think HR thought he wanted him to fire the girl or something. So he starts looking at the girl. He finds the girl's working double shifts, all this crap. And so this crazy bastard followed her home. And lucky he didn't get his ass put in jail. And so he finds out what's going on. He finds out the mom's got this strange cancer, but this particular disease, this particular experimental medicine was working for her, but it was $145,000 a pop, which was about what the girl made a year, the daughter. And Elon said, well, what do you mean? So he found out, he said it changed him. He said changed him in profound ways. And he said not just that, he said meeting Donald Trump's family also changed him. He said, if you would have noticed me just 3 years ago, you would have never seen me with my kids. So if you've been paying the last 2 years, he said, he said, I'm learning. He said, I want to be with my kids. I want them to be part of my life, all except for, the boy who's dead. That's now a girl. But other than that, and I buy a lot of what he's saying because he is changing. But is it all for
my
real?
neighbor?
We're going to find out in the long run.
Yeah, both mentioned you changing.
In the back of my head, it's always dragged. Even though
Trump gets shot in the head, he's changed. Elon sees some humanity in action.
Think about it. He spent $44 billion so we could see what was going on at Twitter. So he didn't do it for any other reason because he already knew what was going on. He'd already seen the documentation. He bought it so he could release the documents to us. I mean, I ain't never seen a billionaire do that shit before, ever. I've seen him do like the Euro chip so you can use all your.
He's the one who's talking about releasing all the names from P. Diddy and Epstein.
He wants to get it out there. I don't know what it is, but something's changed. Maybe E.T. can.
You want to see Hollywood burn? I don't know what that P. Diddy and Epstein list, man. You're gonna
well,
see
Hollywood
burn.
Well, actually, I already saw Hollywood burn.
A mass exodus.
It already happened. It's happening.
Yeah, we just saw that earlier in the show.
They're gonna start thinking about what country they can go to that doesn't have extradition.
Well, I noticed that Russia. Elon or Trump don't have much sympathy for
Russia. Will have a lot of Hollywood stars hanging over.
So I don't know how the FEMA shit's going to work out once Trump gets in there, or who's going to get what. It's going to be bad.
Oh, somebody's going to get fired.
Let's put private contracts out.
Now Trump is like the head cheese man. He's like the Don. You know what I mean?
Well, before we go, because I know we're going to go, but really and truly, people have been sucking up. They didn't do this in his first time around. They have been.
No, they were going crazy, losing their minds. Rioting and all that.
Yeah,
nothing's happened. I think people are actually pretty happy he got.
But I mean, you've got a good chunk of the liberal media all but kissing his ass.
There was no alternative. Harris was not an answer. I mean, that was the Democrats.
Yeah, it was more than that. The Democrats have just lost. The country's just lost faith in it.
They should have had a vote,
and
they should have had a primary.
It's funny when you see the Latinos, because at first they said it was only going to be Latino men, and it turned out to be Latino women and men, like 66%. Go against the Democrats like that, you got to be whoa. And then when you see all these black men who next time will be dragging their black women with them.
It's not just the parties. It was a vote against the establishment.
Yeah, it was really a vote against. Yeah, but it was really a vote against.
So I mean, you're voting against that system that has just such a long history, a culture of corruption, such a long history of it. And Trump could go in there and kick them all in the nuts repeatedly. Then let him do it, man. Let him do it.
Well, that's a good friend of mine the other day is telling me he didn't get a mandate. I said, well, he won the presidency. And I said, he won the electoral college handily. I said, you can't say he didn't. I said, he won the Senate. He won the House.
And they're all being nice to him.
I said, he's got the Supreme Court. And I said, he won the popular vote. I said, I think that's a fucking mandate. I said, I don't know what to tell you. I said, he just won all the way around. And I said, and it wasn't a hard win. It was a convincing, easy win. I said, he said the whole time the only way not to get cheated is to win big, and that's what he did. And I said, y'all want to try to act like it wasn't? I said, you're gonna have to deal with it. And I said, I'm pretty sure unless he does something stupid, he'll probably keep the House and the Senate.
So should we go to his hotels and cheat? Is that what you're saying? To win big, you think Trump would hold it against us, man? There's some card counting.
I don't even know if I'd get any within a block of where he's at. They'd look at us for and go, oh, you're from where? You from? Pakistan? Well, put on dollars. Oh, come here. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, we're from Pakistan.
Yeah, we look like we are from Pakistan. We're from Pakistan, asshole. Yeah, like they would give a shit. I've already had to deal with that crap more than once. I don't have to do that shit anymore. Carly Bears. What the hell kind of name is that? Carly Bears. Where are you from, Carly Bears? Vancouver, Canada. Well, hello up there in Vancouver.
Good old Vancouver.
What part? No, never mind. I don't know where.
I love Vancouver. It's a beautiful city.
It is a beautiful city.
It's a
If
British.
you go to the beach, you can go skiing in the same day.
So, well, no, think about this. Okay. Trudeau is already in trouble. And
Pink shorts.
Trump wins. So what's the first thing he does is he flies down to Mar-a-Lago to meet with Trump. Trump wouldn't let him stay at Mar-a-Lago. He had to go stay at some shit hotel down the road. I'm sure they gave him Secret Service, but he had to go stay somewhere else. He comes back. He flies back to Canada, and 3 days later he says, "You know what? I'm fucking resigning. Fuck all y'all." And it looks like the guy that's going to take over is going to be pro-Trump. Oh no, they got the guy up there with the turbine, whoever this asshole is. I better hope he don't take over. He is some liberal freak. He said Trump is anti-world. Now, Trump actually wants to take states, so they were showing this thing with North Korea and South Korea at the rate it's going to end up being a war, and they said the United States, South Korea could take him for a while, but North Korea would probably end up winning the war unless the U.S. got in. And it said the U.S. wouldn't, and the U.S. would just keep North Korea.
North Korea wouldn't be able to fight.
I think you're going to see a new attitude with the United States. I think from
their soldiers don't know how to fight. They never had a war.
But I think when we take territory, but they simply outnumber the South Koreans like 5.
Trained is one thing, but fighting is something else. I know a guy who did like martial arts his whole life, right? And then he got a job in a club I worked at doing security, and I'm like, well, it's not a job where you beat people up, but we do have bouncers who throw people into dumpsters. You know what I mean? So, and the guy's like, well, I can hold my own or whatever, I'm like, watch out for this guy Dino because he's fucked up, and you know what I mean. Like he's this little Irish guy, and like he just was this really little badass, not a martial artist, not a boxer, just a dude you don't mess with. This guy gets into a fight with him the first night. Dino knocks him out with one shot. Pop pop. There goes your black belts out the window and whatever. The guy's laying on the ground unconscious. I'm like, what the hell happened? And he was like, "Oh man, you messed with me," and you boom.
But anyway, we got to get out of here, guys and girls. We were way over.
You know what? So training is one thing, but experience is something else.
Well, training's a good thing.
Jimi Hendrix, man, are you experienced?
All you guys remember tomorrow night to chat 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time, 8 to 10.
The chat
time.
This show, but a lot dirtier.
The chat is
Joe's going to be pole dancing tomorrow night, man.
Yeah.
You just never know what's going to go on over there. But no, we're going to be talking a little bit about, because there's some new stuff that, like I said, that came out about some alien stuff I want to talk about.
Dancing with a Polish
person. And that conversation will probably carry over to next Wednesday to UF on the Cover, but still, we get to do that. And we'll probably talk a little bit about some other topics that are going on.
We can talk about my first attempt at doing a Bob Ross painting without.
That's a great painting.
Yes, we can talk about that too.
I would give you like $20 for that. I would hang out too, man.
Oh my God! Anyway, we're getting out of here. Y'all be sure to check out Shawn on Sunday nights. He's over there hanging out.
Painter,
check out Jay on Friday night. Check out me on Wednesday, Saturday.
It's no Hunter Thompson.
Michael's here on Friday.
No Hunter Biden.
Good night, everybody. Say good night. Say good night. You're gonna get kicked. Say good night.
Good night.
Good night, Michael.
Bye.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Yeah. Good night. Good night, Bob.